on the phone and tell him that it's on. I finally got his name on the song. Can't do it wrong because it sounds so sweet. You spit the facts while I keep the crowd on their feet. Football season be the reason that I be bringing this heat. Georgia music representing 104.3. Hey, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. So I guess you have to do the John Harbaugh checklist, right? That's what you have to figure out. So if you're Stephen Ross and Tom Garfinkel and Troy Aikman and Dan Marino, that's never going to be not funny, though, by the way, saying Troy Aikman in this group. Although I guess Aikman, he doesn't have a say in the head coach. Although I guess if you're paying him, ask him his opinion on anything, no?
Don't leave him out of anything. You're giving him a check. Come on, Dan.
Let him call the plays.
Come on, Troy and Dan. Get together, Troy and Dan.
But you have to go through a checklist, right? And just say, does John Harbaugh make us that much better? If I'm going to open the checkbook and pay him whatever he wants, give him whatever kind of control he wants, does he make us that much better? So I would ask you, Crowder, if John Harbaugh was the coach of this year's Dolphins team, Tua's the quarterback, but, you know, John Harbaugh can't help it if Tua's become a bad quarterback. Yeah. Like, I don't know if he improves that, but Harbaugh's the coach. Tyreek goes down early in the season. Now, I guess you could take it way back further and say, hey, does Jalen Ramsey want to leave if Harbaugh is the coach? Like, I guess there's a lot of things that you can go back. But if you're doing this head coaching search, you have to answer all these questions in your mind.
That's the thing. And like I was saying, I was thinking, like, I was thinking about writing down a list, like a checklist. Let's get these boxes checked on whatever that candidate is. But it goes back to the stability of the locker room. Remember Calais Campbell and Jalen, all them veterans, you heard the chatter that they didn't really like how things were going. Just the entire McDaniel illusion of things that we've been dealing with, none of that happens under Harbaugh. He is going to have stability. He's going to have a culture. We know what it's going to look like. This team is totally going to change, Hoch. It's not going to be this fun run around, double shifts, shoot back in the backfield. It's going to be Harbaugh football. His brother and him, their dad, it's going to be that. That's what I think we've been missing with the goofiness of Adam Gase, with the taco eyes, with the silliness of all these guys we've had. Like, I think the stability of Harbaugh is exactly what we want. Proven 13 playoff wins over 18 years. Like, that's what we need. That's what the checklist is, his stability.
What the Dolphins end at this season, Solana? Was it 7-10?
Yep, 7-10.
What are they under John Harbaugh this season? Let's say everything is the same. Tua plays below average, certainly for him. Tyreek's out most of the season. Achane is a great running back. Like, everything is there. Harbaugh is your head coach.
And you're saying before camp this year, we just switched head coaches.
Yep. Yes.
I would say Harbaugh has 2 wins at least. I think they're at least 9-8.
I mean, if you believe that, and I'm probably on that side, then it's almost a no-brainer, because then he's doing it with someone else's people and essentially system, because if you're coming in at camp, you don't have a lot of time to create a culture and
yes,
like
it might be more Hawk. Now that you asked me that, because think about what was Solana. Solana said the numbers on pregame. They were outscored in the third quarter, 120-13 or something.
It's worse. It's worse than that. I'll double check. I don't have that in front of me, but yeah, it's insane.
That's not happening. Harbaugh is not going to let that happen week after week after week to get dominated in the third quarter like that. It's just not going to happen under his watch.
Like, you would imagine that week 1 Indianapolis game, there's no way a Dolphins team looks like the Dolphins looked under a John Harbaugh head coach.
No, and we always start slow. We've talked about this for years. It's funny. What was it? Monday. We're talking about how we could do this. We did this show last year. We might as well replay last season. We're doing the same show with McDaniel. They're going to start slow. He's going to figure something out mid-season. They're going to win 4 or 5 in a row. We get all excited. Then they'll get their ass whooped in December by a couple teams. Tennessee Titans that a couple years ago when we were supposed to be we're not supposed to be a wild card. All of those things are not going to happen under Harbaugh year after year. It's not like we're giving up on McDaniel for a year or two. He's had a chance to get this thing together. He's on the downturn of his bell curve.
130-27 is what it ended up as after being outscored by the New England Patriots. I believe it was 14-0 in that third quarter. Yeah, that's the number, 130-27.
We've had a couple teams give us third quarters over the history of sports down here, and Dolphins are just the latest in line.
Yeah, and and then like after the bye week, there's nothing special about him having 2 weeks to get ready for a game. I would be interested to know Harbaugh's after I know Andy Reid's after a bye week is crazy. Like those type coaches that you see what a coach can do in certain situations, and there's no we're talking about the Broncos 2023 game. That was what we still talk about with McDaniel. That's what he hangs his hat on.
Couple of notes here as we endeavor into today's Wednesday program, where Zach Gelb will join us and Don Bailey Jr. will join us from Arizona, and Lee Sterling will join us. He's got some winners, hopefully, for both college football playoff games. Couple of notes. If you've listened the last couple of days, Crowder had some audio issues. If you were listening in the 5 o'clock Funky Buddha Happy Hour yesterday, you know that Solana solved the problem. And I just wanted to bring it up at the beginning of the show, how delighted I am that Solana, through anger and tears and blood and hard work, solved the problem. Crowder, you have never sounded better. You're in Bradenton, I'm guessing?
Yep, still in Bradenton.
He fixed it. Solana fixed it. And I want to give all the credit in the world to someone who went into the lab. Admittedly, took him a day and a half, 7 hours of broadcast time.
Some little boring by him towards me.
But you didn't even hear what he was saying about you off the air. I'm not even joking. But Solana really was, because even the last couple days, no joke, this is a big week. We got a big Hurricanes game tomorrow. I've been on edge because you haven't sounded right. And Solana fixed it. So I felt so good driving home last night, and I feel good signing in today. Somebody puts in, what browser is Crowder using? That was the problem. I mean, we went through every checklist item, every setting, every audio output. We were complaining to the makers of microphone companies. We had Tim Cook from Apple. We sent him a curtly worded email. We were going down every avenue, and Solana figured out Crowder was using Safari. It's a brand new Apple MacBook Airbook, and Solana figured it out that he was using Safari. And our video conferencing service works much better on Google Chrome Outlook.
I'm not browsing anymore. I used to be browsing.
Once we got you to Google Chrome Outlook, Alexa, everything has sounded better. And your Mac Airbook, Pro MacBook, looks good, the video connection. And so, Solana, you did your thing yesterday.
Yeah, I'm surprised the guy that calls the computer the MacBook Pro Book Chrome Airbook didn't have it right when he claimed it was just a faulty microphone, and I insisted, no, I don't believe that's what it is. I believe Crowder
that's not what you said.
Is at fault here, but that's okay.
You said Crowder was sabotaging the show. He did suggest to me, Jimmy, am I lying?
You're not lying.
Off the air, he suggested to me that you were purposefully sabotaging the show. And I had to talk him off the ledge. I'm like, Solana, you're not making any sense. But this is how insane with anger he was.
Oh, he was hot yesterday. But as you work through it, Solana, why would I sabotage the show? I don't know what was it.
I didn't think you were sabotaging the show. I just thought you're like, oh well, can't hear anymore. Figure it out, Solana. Like, well, first of all, learn how to unmute. Can we start there? Learn how to unmute.
Solana, I was calling you. I called you
I mean,
3-4 times.
The whole thing was Crowder sat with you for an hour during his off time yesterday to do it, and then was here to do the show and whatever. But then you thought he was sabotaging it, which I just didn't understand.
I was giving 100%. I thought you were giving 18%, and then you pair that with Coach Larinaga, who of all days to be looking at the video section when clearly we were trying to get to the audio. It was a lot.
Well, regardless, Solana fixed everything.
Solana, you did it, and I appreciate it, and I'm glad we sound good. I'm not sabotaging, and I'm glad that you celebrated today by wearing that wrinkly ass track outfit you have on.
What the hell are you wearing?
What are you wearing?
Miami Vice vibe. This is vintage. I bought this in a vintage store in Rome, or, as the Romans would say, Roma. And I haven't worn it. I never wore it. Spent €80 on this. Never wore it. So I figured, why not today?
That's $100 windbreaker. I mean, that is a members-only windbreaker that you would get at Mervin's in South Florida in 1983. That's a 1983 Mervin special.
That is terrible. And was it packaged in a shrink wrap bag? Why is it so wrinkly?
When you hadn't unpacked it since you got back from Rome?
I haven't unpacked it since I moved into my house 15 months ago. I was unpacking some boxes that was in the attic yesterday. I said, why not? This is fine.
Well, I can give you 5 reasons why not. but we don't have time for that. BetOnline.ag, where will John Harbaugh coach in 2026? Would you like to guess the odds-on favorite?
Tennessee?
Solana?
The Giants.
It is the Giants. Giants are minus 175 favorites.
Yeah.
Listen, the biggest market in the country. You bring a football winner to the New York Giants that already is experiencing some excitement with Jackson Dart. It's got to be an appealing spot.
I went Tennessee. I think I went young, athletic quarterback, Cam Ward approach, but Jackson Dart's the same. Young, athletic, exciting quarterback. He was in D.C. New York is right up the road. That makes sense.
And they have Malik Neighbors, a number 1 option. I know he got injured.
And Scadaboo.
And then they have Cam Scadaboo, who will run through a wall for anybody.
They have a Pro Bowl left tackle. It's Alex Thomas. Their rushers are crazy. Thibodeau, Brian Burns, and Abdul Carter. They have a roster up in New York.
So BetOnline has it as the Giants as the favorites. Then the Raiders at 5-1. The Browns at 6-1. The Falcons 8-1. Cardinals 12-1. Titans 12-1. And the Dolphins at 14-1. Now, I don't buy into their odds there. I will tell you this. I think John Harbaugh and Jim Harbaugh are men of principle. I think they certainly believe of themselves that way. I could see Jim Harbaugh saying to his brother, hey, I was part of this Dolphins thing when they had a head coach under contract. It blew up in everyone's face. Everyone thought it was unseemly that they were talking to me while they still had a head coach under contract. I'm not telling you I feel this way, but I could see a conversation where John Harbaugh or his agent says to the Dolphins, we can't have conversations if you have a current head coach because we have too many options for our client to go somewhere that has a coaching vacancy. We don't want him to be the guy who pushed out another head coach in this league. But if you're the Dolphins, you can't get rid of Mike McDaniel if you're not 100% certain that you're not getting John Harbaugh. That would be the worst outcome of everything. Well, I guess those who want Mike McDaniel gone, that wouldn't be the worst outcome of everything because you'd be done with him. But if you'd planned on retaining him and the only way you'd give him up is to get John Harbaugh, so you fire him and then you don't get John Harbaugh, you're back at that search to find Mike McDaniel again.
You're back finding the next upcoming new guy that's going to figure it out. I think this called a pickle. A rock in a hard place. We fire him to get the best guy. The best guy doesn't come. Now we have no head coach yet. Have the conversations. But is it that bad? Hawk, I think you called me out. Is it that bad if Mike McDaniels is gone and we have to find somebody else? Like, why is this we kind of talked about it. We hold it on to Mike McDaniel like he is this crown jewel or this unpolished diamond. He's not an unpolished
But that's
diamond.
their decision. Like, they've made that decision. Like I said, they could have gotten rid of McDaniel several times during the season or the day after when a whole bunch of other coaches were let go. So their decision is to keep him. So I'm just thinking through their prism is, hey, if we've decided to keep him, we let him go because we want this guy, but we don't get that guy. We just made a mistake because we had talked ourselves into year 5 with McDaniel.
Yeah, and that list, the odds you just read off scare me because they're really just saying because Harbaugh is the crown jewel of this coaching cycle.
Yes.
They're really just saying what's the most attractive job, and the Dolphins is at the bottom of the list. That's scary because I'm thinking through it. I'm like Atlanta. I'm like, damn, Atlanta. You have Bijan Robinson. You have one of the top defenses in the league. You go to them like Arizona's weird to me. I don't know why Arizona would be above the Dolphins, but the Dolphins aren't a top 5 job available right now.
Anyway, let's get headlines because we have a lot to talk about today. A lot. Headlines with Alejandro Solana and his windbreaker.
He gets a Jackie Jordan Kersey.
Brought to you
on his Jackie Jordan Kersey.
Headlines brought to you by Doral Kia. You always pay less with your Pricito at Doral Kia. Visit them at Doral Kia or DoralKia.com. What is in the news, Flojo?
Who is ready for a little college football playoff semifinal tomorrow night? Who's ready?
Feed me. I am so ready.
That is tomorrow. There's a couple college football notes. You guys see the Alabama quarterback, Ty Simpson, is declaring for the NFL draft?
I did see that.
And then I think I sent it to you guys. Dan Orlovsky quote tweeted the report and said, I love him for the Dolphins.
Yeah. And then someone I saw responded with, great, just what we need, another Alabama quarterback coming off of Tua.
Let's bring him on in. I don't know if this quarterback class is strong. Ty Simpson and your boy Fernandez, whatever the hell his name is.
Yeah, the Heisman Trophy winner.
Menendez. You got it.
Yeah. That dude's like a Miami legend, bro. I mean, come on, show a little respect to Fernandez.
I don't know. I don't see it. Maybe he turned me off with that goofy ass post game he had, but I don't know.
I don't trust any of your quarterback takes because you were down on Cam Ward before he got here. You were down on Carson Beck before he got here. And now all of a sudden you no longer want who's the Florida quarterback? I can't
DJ Lagway.
Oh,
yeah,
Lagway.
DJ Lagway. But you talked about DJ Lagway like he was the next Lamar Jackson.
I'll tell you, I was wrong on Lagway, and I was quite wrong on Cam Ward. I'm taking a win for Carson Beck.
Oh, Carson Beck's playing in a game to get to the national championship.
Oh, the team is carrying Carson Beck to the national championship.
He carried them several games.
He did. He had some good ones, but yeah, that Texas A&M game, what was it, 13-4?
None of the playoff games, admittedly.
Yeah, Hawk, your track record stellar with all that Tua support over the last couple of years.
Well, don't forget about Tate Martell. Tua was actually my best one.
What was the quote? We got Tate.
The Panthers did lose to the Toronto Maple Leafs last night. I saw somebody text us, any Marchand news. So he left the game early yesterday. Paul Maurice pulled him after the second intermission. But I was reading in Florida Hockey Now, George Richards was saying that Paul Maurice called that just precautionary. They're literally down everybody.
Yep.
And Marchie kind of took a big hit, and he's like, hey, this one's over. We'll be all right. Let's get Marchie back in the locker room. So doesn't appear to be anything serious there.
Yeah.
And the Heat didn't pull Bam or Khalil Ware, but it felt like they did yesterday in the second half.
What
that was bad.
Stinker. Man. Someone had put on the chat like right when we signed on and we were talking about other stuff, but it was like Solana defend Bam today.
Well, I mean, if you want me to, I could craft the defense.
It was rough.
It's not a defense as much as it is a question about Eric Spoelstra's methods right now. And look, I'm not here to question Spo because there's numbers to suggest that the Heat offenses look great this year, and we should, praise him for whatever it is he did. But if your highest paid player can execute in the offensive system you're running, then what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like, isn't it time to readjust?
This is the Whiteside conversation all over again.
Yeah. Well, let's go off. Don't go off ticket price. Let's go off skill set. Bam doesn't function well in any offenses because he's not an offensive player.
But we've established this, Crowder. He's not Hakeem Olajuwon. And we keep.
What did he end up with yesterday, though? 7?
Yeah, 7.
Serious, strong 7.
So you are correct. 7. He is not Olajuwon. I will give you that statement.
Hit that one on the
head. All right. Your weather in South Florida right now, it is hot, especially in this windbreaker. Tonight, the lows are going to drop into the upper 70s. That's your weather.
Zach Gelb is going to join us in the next segment. This is a huge week for Hurricanes football. That means you got to get to Caneswear in Davie. You want to get your Hurricanes merch right now at Caneswear. I just saw them post something new on Instagram or Twitter just moments ago with some new merch there. Canes, Ole Miss, tomorrow night, whether you're at the Fiesta Bowl and listening to us on the app, or you're going to be watching with friends, or even by yourself on the couch, get decked out in some new Canes gear from Caneswear. We've been waiting for this season for over 20 years. Celebrate it with a trip to Caneswear today or tomorrow before the game. Maybe, I mentioned yesterday, you got some cash for the holidays. Maybe you got some of those, credit card gift cards. Spend it on something you really want, which is new Canes gear. All of us right now are celebrating the Hurricanes. Get yourself some new Canes gear at Caneswear. And of course, it's not just Canes merch that they have there. They've got Dolphins, if you dare, Inter Miami, Heat, Hurricanes basketball, Marlins, the reigning Stanley Cup champions, the Florida Panthers. They've got all the merch right there at Caneswear in Davie. Shirts, hats, jerseys, shorts, hoodies. And like I said, it is a party at Caneswear since the Ohio State game, really since the Texas A&M game. It is a party at Caneswear. So if you're a Hurricanes fan, get over to Caneswear in the next couple of days. The store in Davies on University Drive, right next to La Spada's, or you can always shop online at Caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot South Florida sports fans shop.
You're listening to the Hoch, Crowder, and Solana Show.
I love the colonoscopy.
Go.
Get to Zach Gelb here in 1 second. I want to tell you first about my good friends and the amazing award-winning team at Doral Kia. Whenever you want a low price, you always pay less with your Pricito at Doral Kia. Take advantage of a Pricito now on all your favorite new Kia models like a Sportage, Sorento, Telluride, K5, a Soul, or more. In fact, we bought our son his Kia K4 at Doral Kia. Mitchell, the king of Kias, was so good to us. He will be so good to you as well. So don't wait. Hurry to Doral Kia today. Don't miss your chance to shop on a new Kia or shop any of their pre-owned vehicles as well with easy financing, fast service, and the best value for your money because you always pay less with your Pricito at Doral Kia. Zach Gelb is on the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. He is a longtime national radio host. He's an NFL studio host on Compass Media Networks, longtime friend of our program, and follow him on social media, Twitter and Instagram, at Zach Gelb, ZachGelb. Zach Gelb, does John Harbaugh immediately make the Dolphins multiple games better? Mike McDaniel ends the season 7-10. If John Harbaugh was the head coach of the Dolphins this past season, what's their final record?
They'd probably be 9-8. That would be my guess. I think it's a 2-win improvement. Also, the Dolphins put lipstick on a pig at the end of the season, so it inflates a little bit, the job that Mike McDaniel did, which was really not much. It felt like you were watching for most of the year a team that was going to win, 5, 6, maybe even 7 games at most. So I think Harbaugh would bring professionalism to this organization that's going to have to go through a big rebuild. And he would be a face of the organization and a leader of a franchise. So if the Dolphins could get him, yes, I would have fired Mike McDaniel, even if John Harbaugh didn't become available. But I would absolutely fire him if you could go get him.
To that point, though, because we were talking about this earlier, Gil, do you fire Mike McDaniel without knowing Harbaugh's coming? Or you might mess up the Harbaugh thing with not firing Mike McDaniel. It's like, it's a rock and a hard place situation. I'm with the thing of get rid of Mike McDaniel, we'll figure it out. But to let go of him now and you don't get Harbaugh, now you're back in this cycle of let's figure out the next great offensive coordinator that could be a good head coach.
There's many reasons why Mike McDaniel should no longer have a job, but let's just be real here. If the Dolphins keep him, what are the chances when I'm doing this show in January of 2027 that we're sitting here saying, man, Mike McDaniel made a big improvement. The Dolphins need to keep him as the head coach. I think it's minuscule, extremely minuscule. So if it's just to keep him, and like, oh, well, you can't get somebody better. Well, can you really get someone that's really that worse with what is trans? And I get it. The guy took him to the playoffs twice. He hasn't been an unmitigated disaster. But where the current state of he is, like, well, you're keeping him to do what next year? I know turnarounds could happen very quickly in this league. Does anyone think the Miami Dolphins are going to the postseason next year? You'd be insane to say that, or you'd just be Hawk.
Hawk raised his hand. Yes, it's Hawk. But yeah, to your point, to answer your question, to get the divorce without knowing the next step, I guess that's the fear of it.
Put it this way: they're in couples therapy. They know this marriage is not salvageable, and they are now yelling in couples therapy. And you're saying to yourself, all right, I'll put up with it for 3 or 4 more months to make it look like I'm doing the right thing. You know it. She knows it. It's over. It's like the only one that doesn't know that is Stephen Ross for some reason. And he keeps on paying the check. So until Stephen Ross realizes, oh my goodness gracious, I'm old, I don't know how many more opportunities I have to go try to compete for this thing, then I guess he's going to continue to keep Mike McDaniel because he likes him and he's funny at the podium. Like, give me a break.
Stephen Ross loves the therapist. That's why he continues going. He thinks he's going to end up with the therapist. He's Tony Soprano, going to go see Dr. Melfi. He thinks he's going to end up bagging the therapist. Here's the thing, though, Gelb, because, look, I thought, and we've talked about this a million times, they should have cleaned house. I think Mike McDaniel, it's run its course in Miami. Mm-hmm. But is he well respected around the league in terms of his approach to the game? And because I think, how it's being painted here is, hey, he had a quarterback situation that just died at the end. And the general manager situation, the GM didn't put him in a good spot. And they think that he's capable with another quarterback and another general manager in a better situation to truly show how great of a head coach he is. And I think there's a lot of people around the league. We don't down here because we're just sick of it after 4 years. But I think the notion around the league is that Mike McDaniel truly not only is a good head coach, but is well respected in terms of his offensive abilities as well.
To me, good offensive mind. He's more of an offensive coordinator than a head coach. The professionalism, the day-to-day operations, him just speaking at the podium, he causes more problems for himself. And I think there are people in the media that go, oh, I'm not saying he's a bad guy. Like, let me be clear. But they go, oh, Mike McDaniel, he's great. He's unbelievable because he's entertaining to cover. But when you're not winning, I don't care if you're the greatest comedian in the world at the podium, you're not a great head football coach. Have there been coaches that have got second chances that have been far and away worse than Mike McDaniel? Absolutely. I'm not sitting here and saying he'll never get a second opportunity to be a head coach. If I was running the team, though, if I was the owner, if I was the general manager, and if I'm having all these candidates out there, I'm saying to me, Mike McDaniel is just the guy I would consider to be an offensive coordinator, not a head coach for my organization.
Rex Ryan is the example who comes to mind for me when you talk about guys entertaining at the podium, but when you're not winning, it's not cute or funny anymore.
Yes, but to be fair, Rex did get to 2 AFC championship
No. I'm saying when it's working, it's the greatest thing, and you love him, and you wish every coach could be that way. And when it's going south, and it doesn't matter how much you have in your resume, when it's going south, that stuff just isn't cute anymore. But that's with anything.
Look at it with Belichick. And I know that's to the ultimate extreme. Belichick was an a-hole at the podium, but he didn't want to talk to the media. Like earlier in his coaching days, he was friendlier with the media. When you win, though, you could be good. You could be an ass with the media. It doesn't matter as long as you're winning. Mike McDaniel, the tangents, and it's Napoleon Dynamite almost. I feel like I'm watching that movie when he's at the podium. That's the vibe that I get. And I sit there and I go, to the players, they like him. But do they really respect him? Like coaching right now is you have to be a player's coach. The my way or the highway guy anymore doesn't really work, but you can't be a doormat. Like Mike Vrabel in New England. He's not a pushover, but he's hugging his players after the game. He's player friendly. And then when he speaks, it's okay. That's the boss in the room. That's the guy that's laying down the law. And when Mike McDaniel speaks, I kind of feel like some of those guys in the locker room kind of think he's the court jester.
It's funny, Gav, because we speak about this like McDaniel's not the head coach anymore. We're throwing him in with the Arizonas and the Atlantas and all that because of Hoch said a number of people just want him gone. We don't need a head coach. Just hire some coordinators and we'll figure this thing out. But when you see the odds on where Harbaugh's going, the Dolphins are below Atlanta, Arizona, which is puzzling to me. I don't see something great in Arizona to be there, but in the odds, they were below Arizona. Is Miami worse than any other job that could become available out there? Because the damn Browns, going to Cleveland's better than coming down here. It sounds crazy.
And the favorites, by the way, is in New York, where you are, the Giants.
Yeah, and I think Harbaugh could be the next coach of the Giants. It wouldn't surprise me if Brady gets him with the Raiders just to throw two destinations out there. You look at the Dolphins, though. Tyreek Hill, does anyone want to put up with him? And he's coming off the injury. You look at Jalen Waddle. It seems like it's probably better to just get the draft picks for him now. And he's a very good young football player. Devon Achane, very good young football player. Like, other than that, what do they really got? Like, you got Tua, who maybe he's going to be here next year. And I think he would because of the money, or maybe they just pull the rug out underneath him. I was reading some stuff over the weekend and they just bite the bullet, but that contract situation is a disaster. So you don't got a quarterback. You're in a division where there's two elite quarterbacks or guys that, Allen's obviously elite. Drake May is looking like he's going to be the MVP of the league this year. It's either going to be him or Stafford. So it's only one of 32 jobs. But still, with that being said, if it means you get Chris Shula, if you get Kubiak, these guys are unknowns. I don't know how they're going to be from going from offensive and defensive coordinators as head coach, but I already know what Mike McDaniel is. And I would rather roll the dice and try something different when the Dolphins are heading back to one of these plans once again, where first year it's a wash, second year it's okay, make an improvement, and then third year go compete for a playoff spot.
What about Stefanski? Would you rather have Stefanski over McDaniel?
Oh, yeah. Stefanski in Cleveland won 2 Coach of the Year awards in Cleveland. Like, yeah, I'd rather have Stefanski.
Do you think Tua, most people are of the belief down here, certainly the people who cover, that Tua's done with the Dolphins. They will pay him his money. He just can't come back. It's too fractured at this point. Do you believe Tua Tagovailoa could be a quality starting quarterback for another team in the NFL?
For one season, yes. For multiple seasons, and do I think that he's going to go find a 3-4 year run straight of success? No. Whether it's the injuries or just the inconsistencies that we've seen. And that's why after last year, when he got through the season healthy, I said it with you guys before the start of this season. I go, you guys aren't going to like to hear it, and Dolphins fans are going to call me an idiot and a moron and a dope, and oh, it's a national media member, blah, blah, blah. But I go, now let's see if he could do it for back-to-back seasons. And he wasn't able to do it this season. So I just think, can he play to a top 10 level where one year you're looking at him and you go, oh, statistically, he's a top 10 quarterback in the league for one season. Yes. But then the next year I'm expecting him to get hurt or just to be wildly inconsistent, when on the deep ball shots and not ending up being the player that we thought he was going to be coming out of Alabama.
It would be so Dolphins, though, if next year, like the Colts sign him, he plays half his games in a dome, and he's back to being the leading passer in the NFL. It would literally be the most Dolphins thing. Gelb, who the hell do you like to come to go to the Super Bowl, to win the Super Bowl? I don't know. Who the hell do you trust in the playoffs right now? Because Hoch and I were trying to figure this out. Like, I mean, I'm sitting here in the AFC, and I'm saying, Josh Allen, like, you better get through the AFC.
If you would have asked me this question 3-4 weeks ago, I'd be like, maybe the Bills and the Rams. Neither of them won their division. The Rams finished in what? They're the 5th seed. They're the 5th seed. So second place in the division. If they didn't win last weekend,
Carolina, though, they got lucky. They're going to play Carolina. Yeah. They're going to run through that game.
Well, they lost to Carolina earlier this year, and I do agree with you. I do think the Rams are going to win. But remember a few years ago when it was more than a few years ago now, it was the Saints and the Seahawks, and it was the beast mode game, and everyone's like, oh, the Seahawks don't belong, and they ended up winning. So you have a home playoff game. Who knows? I do agree that it's the Rams. If Josh, put it this way, there's no more pressure on any head coach or quarterback in the postseason this year than Sean McDermott and Josh Allen. You don't got Lamar, who you've already beat twice in the postseason. You don't got your kryptonite in the Kansas City Chiefs. Joe Burrow, who you lost to at home where they embarrassed you 1 year, aren't in it. And if you let the Patriots, which I would love to see it, let me be clear, but if you allow the Patriots to go to the Super Bowl, or the Broncos with Bo Nix and Sean Payton to go to the Super Bowl, and you can't find a way to get the job done, as great as Josh Allen is, and you could argue he's the best quarterback in football, you then sit there and you go, well, is this organization ever going to get one after all the heartbreak that they've suffered through during the last 5 seasons?
I thought you were trying to, because we know you're a Patriots fan. I thought you were trying not to say the Patriots because we would call you a homer. But
no, I wouldn't care. You know me better than this. I will come on the show and tell you that Solana basically, I can't say what I wanted to say, but Solana massages the Miami Heat a lot. I will say here that Hoch, I'm at the Winter Classic right there. How about Solana putting up a montage? Any photos from that game, Solana? Did you even stay for more than 5 minutes, by the way? So I think here's the thing. I believe in this football team. I think this football team is really good. But then, like, just in my brain, a little voice goes off and they go, Zach, does it really happen this quickly that you guys become this great again? They could get there. The AFC is weak this year. The NFC is extremely inconsistent. So can they get there? Yes, but I still have a tough time envisioning that they're going to win the Super Bowl this year.
I hate it too. There's no way you go from Brady to another MVP, but you did. There's no way
Mike Vrabel Mac Jones in between. Now we had to suffer through Mac Jones and
what a long, terrible
we did make
era
the playoffs
that must have
one
been.
year. We could relate to you. We lost to Buffalo, like in Buffalo. We get it.
Hey, don't hate on Mac Jones. That might be our QB1 next year. That's my guy, bro.
Go get him. Go get him. But I got the Pats. Jaguars I don't believe in, they're hot right now, but I actually got the Pats Rams going. I think the Rams turning around, but yeah, the Pats, man, I'm not. It's almost like you want yourself not to think they're that good for some crazy reason. That's why I think I'm sitting in there.
But to your point, like, all right, you're taking the Patriots, and I'll spin this into a Dolphins point. We're sitting here saying, oh, like Mike McDaniel, can they do any better? Like the Patriots hired Gerard Mayo. He was there for one season. Now, obviously, they knew they were going to get Mike Vrabel, but they got rid of a coach after one season where, like, let's be real, was Gerard Mayo ever going to be a good coach in New England? Probably not. But was he deserving of getting fired with the roster that he had? Also probably not. But Robert Kraft sat there and he said, I just feel as if this isn't going to work. I made a mistake. Let me not keep him around for 3-4 more seasons, rip off the Band-Aid now, and go get Mike Vrabel. And instantly, if you have a coach and a quarterback in this league, it's not as if the Patriots have this, unbelievable, tremendous roster. Things could change very quickly.
Real quick, because we're out of time. Tomorrow. Fiesta Bowl. You're going with the Canes? So who do you have as your matchup in the national championship?
Not so fast, my friends. I'm taking Ole Miss, actually.
What? No.
Yeah.
Wow.
I hate to do it that way, but you set it up so I could be a little Lee Corso-like. I just trust Trinidad Chambliss. I've been in love with Ole Miss all throughout.
You watched UM and Ohio State?
Yeah. Did you watch Ole Miss in Georgia?
Did you watch UM and Texas A&M?
Yeah, I understand. Well, Texas A&M, that was not the.
Did you watch UM and Notre Dame back in August?
The battle in the trenches is where Miami is elite. There's no doubt about it. And I think these two teams are so close. Kejuan Lacey's a heck of a running back, but I just look at it, Chambliss versus Beck. That's how I'm going to dumb this thing down. I just trust Chambliss more than I do Carson Beck right now. So I take Ole Miss in a slight victory over the Canes. And it pains me because my dear friend, Mario Cristobal, is the coach of the Miami Hurricanes. It pains me.
Man, doesn't sound like it, does it? Doesn't sound like it pains him at all.
I texted him and his one of his best men at his wedding right after the game as the ball was dropped. Congratulations, coach, blah, blah. Like I will like to see Miami win, but you asked me for an unbiased take, something Solana's incapable of, and I'm just telling you I like to go with Ole Miss here.
How dare you? Zach Gelb, follow him on social media, ZACHGELB. Zach Gelb. We'll talk to you next week,
Bam Adebayo do the other night, by the way? Just one.
Last night, you mean? 7 points, but 7 quality points.
Oh, yeah.
Clutch.
Yeah. 7. See you, Gelby.
Bam, 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 bam. Later,
see you,
guys.
Gelby. There you go. Zach Gelb on the Hochman, Crowder, and Solana program. Pulled the rug out from under me at the end there. I thought he was taking the Canes. He did pull a Lee Corso on me.
We have time. I could argue everything he said. Chambliss ain't going to run around like he's playing 7-on-7.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. All right, we got to take a break.
He got me mad.
Here.
You know I'm a Cane now.
Got to take
2 more days.
Okay.
If you're going to watch the game at Tootsie's. It is the largest strip club in the world. There are dozens of TVs everywhere. They have a delicious restaurant in the back. I'm not talking about a guy with some frying pan. I'm talking about a full restaurant. They have drink specials, food specials, $100 bottles, half-price drinks till 8 p.m. every single day. They're open from noon to 6 a.m., so you have 18 hours of beautiful entertainers, dozens of TVs, 5-6 stages. They have a sports bar in the back with pool tables, and I'm telling you, you got to go to Tootsie's. It's right around the corner from Hard Rock, so if you're going to the game, they have the National Championship coming up, the tailgate thing. I'm telling you, you could tailgate there at any time. But on Sundays now through the end of the football season, Sundays at the sports bar, noon to 5 p.m., tailgate takeover. It is a $10 menu. Chicken wings, smash burger fries, fried shrimp fries, cheese pizza, and chicken nachos are only $10 from noon to 5 p.m. on Sundays. Tailgate at Tootsie's. Go to Tootsie's to watch it. And if not just football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, MMA, UFC, head to Tootsie's. Check it out. You'll watch your event on dozens of TVs and during commercial breaks. I'm telling you, there's going to be a beautiful entertainer everywhere. I've been going there since 2005. There's always beautiful entertainers. I'm going to go there for another 20 years. Get to Tootsie's Cabaret. You'll have a great time. Go to tootsiescabaret.com for more information.
You're listening to the Hoch, Crowder, and Solana Show.
50% of the time I stay in hotels, I clog the toilet.
Today's topics are We back at it with the steady Hotman, Crowder, and Solana. 305, cafecito time, dame una colada. Got some interviews next. Always got dope guests. Get the cesspool live, dropping comments and likes. We about to get right. Talking sports, my G. Listen to Odyssey and 104.3. Live and back on GeorgiaMusic.com. Hitting it at the park like a Matt Mervis bomb off power. Get ready for the 3 o'clock hour. Get ready for the 3 o'clock hour. Get ready for the 3 o'clock hour. Get ready for that 3 o'clock. Ready for that 3 o'clock.
Ready for that 3 o'clock hour. That's Georgie with his latest banger. And I sent it to Matt Mervis, and he loved it. There's the line in there, hitting it out of the park like another Matt Mervis bomb. He loved it. He thanks everyone. I didn't tell him that Solana and Crowder have turned on him, and I'm his only ride or die. But no, don't look. You've turned on Matt Mervis.
My look was I didn't turn on him. I never was on his side, so I was just staying where I was.
How dare you? Marlins made a trade today. Marlins sent Edward Cabrera to the Cubs.
They did?
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't even see that.
Wow. Yeah, it's a big trade.
Damn.
Oh, we were trying to get better.
Are they? I don't know.
So, in a picture. I don't
couple
know.
things. I am. Are you shocked by this, Solana?
Yeah, no. I mean, I saw that there were some rumors about Edward Cabrera. Maybe the Yankees were interested. I'm surprised I didn't see that he got traded.
Well, you've had a busy day, last 2 days, fixing Crowder's computer, and you need some time to yourself to come down from the high. I am so delighted with the way Crowder looks and sounds. I mean, it really shines a spotlight on the last, 2 years of his hazy camera.
I look good, don't I?
Like, if you look at the YouTube stream or you go look at our YouTube channel later on tonight and compare the picture that we're looking at right now, the video of Crowder versus Crowder, 3 weeks ago?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's startling. It's almost like you were in like a grainy hostage video for the last couple of years.
So my Zelle's attached to my email, guys. So I need some money for this AirBook MacBook is expensive.
I'll tell you what, it's the best books out of all the Air books. The Mac Apple book is probably the best Air book.
And it downloads browsers in 10 seconds, bro. It's crazy.
Solana and I could not believe it yesterday that between like 4:55 and 5 o'clock, you downloaded and installed Google Chrome. And then how did you import all your bookmarks and stuff? Like, how did you even...
What are you talking about?
How did you get signed on? Because it is really easy to import all your bookmarks and all, like, nothing should change. But I have to imagine you fired up Google Chrome and didn't even know what you were looking at.
Solana said... Honestly, he said, go to Safari and type in the top line, download Google Chrome. I hit enter, and the first thing on the top of that list was download Google Chrome. I hit it. There was a bunch of little beeps in the corner, and then this big page popped up, and it said Google Chrome. And I pushed skip this. They were saying like all this craziness. Do you want to put this on there? I don't want to put anything on. I just want to get to Google Chrome. Went to Google Chrome. Tapped Gmail, went into my email. I do know how to go into my email. Went into my email and it said Solana show sheet. And I tapped show sheet, StreamYard. I tapped StreamYard. It came up.
Incredible. I mean, this really is someone where the pilot is incapacitated and someone who's never flown a plane before landing the plane. Like that's how far behind he is on computer skills.
Just give me, why does this browser need my phone number? It asked for my phone number. I'm going to give you my phone number, browser. I just want to get to my Gmail, bro.
Truly amazing. You want to hear an amazing story? This is amazing. We're going to get to headlines. Lee Sterling's going to join us this hour. Don Bailey Jr. in the next hour from Arizona. We'll talk some Fiesta Bowl. This is an amazing story. Ticket Wizard tells us I have a text group with him, thread, And he tells us this morning, because you know the Ticket Wizard, he's my only friend who still gets the actual newspaper delivered. And he gets the Herald and the Sun Sentinel. Now, I want to start it by saying, I am a big proponent of supporting local journalism. Yes. I believe everyone should subscribe, certainly sports fans, to the Sun Sentinel app, the Miami Herald app, and the Palm Beach Post app. You get some of the best Dolphins coverage and all the other stuff that comes along with it. But to get an actual newspaper, which I used to loved reading a newspaper, I just don't do it. I mean, for 5 years now, probably longer, because there's nothing in there that I haven't seen hours, if not days prior, because I get all the push notifications from my newspaper subscriptions, on the apps. Well, the Ticket Wizard loves his newspaper every morning, not just the Sunday paper guy. Every morning he sits down, he makes himself a full breakfast, which already I find crazy. But Barry's got to make a full breakfast every morning. And then he sits down with his newspaper and he gets delivered the Sun Sentinel and the Miami Herald 7 days a week, both newspapers. He texted us this morning. Might be end of an era. I just figured out how much I'm spending every year on the newspapers. Guess how much he was spending for 7-day delivery, Sun Sentinel and Miami Herald?
I know it's a couple bucks. It used to be a quarter. Just quick math, what, $20 a week? $80 a month? That's $1,000?
That's what I was going to say, like $500 each, so $1,000.
You're not going to believe this.
No way, it's more.
$4,500 a year. $400 a month he has been spending for the last 20 years, he figured out, on those newspaper subscriptions.
What?
I said, Barry, I think I'm going to vomit. I can't even believe this. And he's like, you're the one who talked me into doing auto pay on everything. When I used to have to write a check, then I would be reminded of it. But I thought he was crazy all these years for writing checks. He would, hey, I got to call you back. I'm writing checks. I go, you're what? You're writing checks? To who? Who even takes a check? So I had to double check this one. I go, Barry, you can't have this right. This can't be right. He goes, I wish I was wrong. I'm simmering, couldn't sleep last night. $393 a month between the two subscriptions for the Herald and the Sun Sentinel. And I said, what? Barry, you didn't see a charge from the Sun Sentinel for $200 every month and think to yourself, this is a little off?
Larry got some bread now, Hawk. Larry ain't struggling.
He's like, well, the Sun Sentinel, they bill you every 8 weeks. So I'm like, so every other month you saw a bill for $400 and you just kept paying it?
Oh.
So he was saying he called, I'm looking at the thread that I'm on with him and some other friends. So he was saying he called the Sun Sentinel and the Herald and said, hey, I'm seeing something for like $1 a week for 13 weeks. And they said to him, well, that's for new customers only. And so Barry's like, I have paid you guys thousands of dollars a year for 30 years. You can't give me a deal? One of our friends, I'm trying to look at the threat. None of us could believe it. One of the guys on the thread said something along the lines of the customer service. They don't have a $4,500 a year department retention, so you stymied them.
He's paying somebody's salary.
Ira's
And
going
he
to have to
says-
sell his house now that he's canceled this subscription.
He goes, I really should just Venmo Hoch the money. He's the one who gives me my news anyway. Because I see the news 48 hours before he does, and I know what interests him, so I forward it to him.
Hey, Wizard, Edward Cabarro's about to be traded to the Cubs.
Well, I'm thinking here, I mean, should we start our own publication? Should we start our own newspaper?
Only if it's really geared towards Barry.
Barry's
well-
giving up, bro. We know what he likes. He likes to fish. He likes sports. We can get this Barry newsletter going and get $4,000 a month.
Traffic news. Jimmy can drop it off every morning. He'll have a route to Barry's
And I
house.
don't want anyone to take this the wrong way because I love the local journalists from Ira Winderman to Joe Shad to Omar Kelly to Chris Perkins. We can name them all, right? I really am a big believer in supporting local journalism. It's important. But the app gives you, to me, everything you need. Maybe you want to get a Sunday paper because there's something special about opening up a Sunday paper. Like, I get that. But $4,500 a year for the Herald and the Sun Sentinel? Wow.
You talked to me in years ago of paying the firewall when I pull up people's articles and they say you got to pay, and I started paying, and I have that on auto pay. But to your point, I see those dollars leaving. It was never hundreds of dollars leaving my account.
Oh,
But
You know what?
I have the apps. Like I have the Miami Herald subscription. I read it every morning, which is why I'm surprised I didn't see the Edward Cabrera news. I have the Sun Sentinel subscription because I love Ira Winderman and Chris Perkins and Furones. And I have Palm Beach Post as well. Every now and then, Hawk, like on a Sunday, if I go to Publix in the morning to go do some groceries, I'll pick up a paper. I think it's like $7 or $6. We had Jimmy call Publix once.
which is
Like, I'll
crazy,
just-
right?
I'll
Like the
grab one.
Sunday paper all of a sudden is like $5, $6, $7. Yeah.
Yeah, but he'd be saving money doing that, I think, right? If he went and bought
Well,
one
sure,
every
you're paying
morning.
for the delivery as well. Like you get the
Yeah.
delivery service, but holy mackerel. I mean,
But it's, you know what? To talk about the Wizard, it's funny. Solana said Publix because I text the Wizard the other day because he got me stuck on the most expensive oranges in the world when we went fishing one time. Have you ever heard of Sumo Citrus?
yeah, those sumo oranges. Lori likes those.
No.
But they're $5 an orange. It's $5 an orange. So he brings them out fishing. We go fishing. He's like, you got to taste these oranges. I'm like, damn, these oranges are delicious. So I go get some. I take them home. Now my kids won't eat mandarin oranges anymore because they want Sumo Citrus. Mandarin oranges are $6 a bag. Sumo Citrus is $5 an orange.
Tell you what, this ticket wizard, man, between the newspaper and the orange, it's $48 every morning.
It's crazy.
It's
I text him.
crazy.
You talking about reading text? I pulled it up. I sent him a picture of the oranges. I can't show it too long because I said it was a lot of cuss words in there. F you, these bees are expensive as F. Happy New Year, bro. I hate you.
How does a paper get delivered nowadays, Hawk? Like, I can't imagine it's some kid on a bicycle going
Yeah,
around.
no, it's like some. It's probably some station wagon. Didn't you have a paper route? You told us, Crowder. You and your dad had a paper route.
I used to wake up with Big Randy, go to the factory, get the papers piled in his back, the back seat of his Ford Taurus, and we run, and I throw him out the passenger window, and he throw him out the driver window. This one times got tough at the Crowder house. It was that's what I knew. This
We're
gravy
the
train.
only NFL father-son combo that had a paper route.
I knew this gravy train has ran out. I'm waking up at 3 a.m. with pops.
It's staggering. That's a staggering amount of money to be spending on the newspaper. Like a staggering amount.
Because there's not, the price has to go up because they have to pay somebody to take it to him. That's where the money goes. They have to pay somebody to take it to him.
I guess. I mean, and then you have to tip the guy, you know. You have to tip your newspaper delivery guy every year.
Oh, you tip surgeons. You tip everybody.
No, but you do have to tip the paper delivery guy. Like
don't
they give
have
you,
to tip him.
well, you do. They give you an envelope with a card in it, like a couple weeks before Christmas, and it says thank you for this year. So there's another $100 right there. So Barry was spending, I'm going to say $4,700 a year to have 2 newspapers delivered to his house.
Another $100,000 on breakfast, because who makes full breakfast?
He does. He makes a full breakfast.
I feel like
Did
I
you say-
missed out on like a novel Americana life.
Oh, the
With, like,
newspaper was the best.
The paper thing with the person, they throw the paper onto the front lawn. Also, the milkman. I never experienced that. I'd go to Publix, get 2% with the little purple top, and put it in the shopping cart with my parents when I was a kid. I mean, you guys had somebody showing up to the house with milk glasses.
That is true. When I was a kid.
You had milkman?
Yeah, I mean, I was only like 5 or 6 when it ended, so I don't have the kind of memories of it. But I remember we had a not a silver, but like a metal square container at the side of the house. And the milkman would pull up, and my mom would fill out the form, 2% or whole milk, cottage cheese, American cheese, whatever it is. And they would put the milk and the cheese in the box, that was kind of insulated. And it was in glass bottles. And you could see the cream on the top sometimes, of the milk. And then when you were done with the milk, you'd put the empty bottles back in the container for when the milkman came with your next delivery to pick up the empties.
Was it true? Because the joke of, if you don't look like your father, you're the milkman's son. Was the milkman knocking down people?
Because the husband, this is the 70s, husband's at work, the wife's at home, the strapping milkman comes to the door. And listen, times might be tough. Maybe you need a discount on that milk.
You got to work off the milk, huh?
What's better than an 80-cent gallon of milk? A 40-cent gallon of milk.
So that was Forrest Gump's mom. Similar situation.
She needed a tuition decrease.
Your mama care about your education.
What was that, like a prestigious job back in the day? The milkman?
I don't think so.
I mean,
it was probably a fun job if they knocked down all the women, but
I think that was probably like a job out of college or something. Like,
milkman was showing out. I like it.
Yeah, what times? The newspaper. Mm-hmm.
I was on. Right. You know what? To the love of the wizard. I ate actual food when I was a kid because of the newspaper and Randy's route.
Right.
So
the newspaper, listen, the newspaper back when I was a kid was everything. Mm-hmm. The newspaper, like, that was an economy. The writers were revered. The newsrooms were packed. You couldn't wait to get, many cities used to have a morning newspaper and an afternoon newspaper.
That's crazy.
So you'd have the morning edition and then you'd have the late edition because things would happen during the day.
Yeah. Big Randy used to have 7,000 newspapers in the back of his Taurus. He didn't read the newspaper, though. Because till the day he died, he used to say, man, ain't number bad news in there. I don't want to read about that.
That's funny. There was, obviously somebody just put on the chat, the movie times. That was the only way to get the movie times was in the newspaper. The only way to get any kind of statistical information on your sports teams or your favorite players was the newspaper. Yeah. I wouldn't have known Bam only scored 7 points last night if I didn't check the box score. And I might have thought it was a misprint.
He got the 7, though.
And then, I grew up with the TV guide that I fondly miss. We're like, now what's on at all times. But I used to turn on TV guide in the morning and see what was on currently. And then if you kind of glanced away and you missed what was on ESPN, now you got to sit through the entire 99 channels again when it loops back around.
When did guide start? Because I know when I moved to Atlanta, so I was like 12 when the guide started, where you could push the button and see the.
Yeah, it was like.
So mid 90s.
I feel like it was late 80s.
Solana, what kind of cable did you have?
No, bro.
But it was
I was born in 94, and like I remember in like the early 2000s, you were still going to TV Guide.
Wasn't it called TV Preview? The station TV Preview?
You're talking about you were reading what's coming on at ABC at 8 a.m.?
It would show you like what was currently on, and it would just
Remember
be
there was that
for the 99
scrolling,
channel.
it was the scrolling
Right.
channel grid.
Yeah.
What cable did you have?
You don't remember the scrolling channel grid?
No. But I'm saying Solana's young. You couldn't push guide and go through the channels?
Not until my
No.
parents
No.
not until my
No
parents
way.
got DirecTV
Really?
in like the late aughts, like 2008, 2009, they got DirecTV, and that was revolutionary. Like, oh my God, look how many channels we have. I can see now, I click on guide and I can see what's currently on. But
No, but that
before,
was
we
out
just
way
had
before
cable.
then.
I just had cable.
I think your parents were getting over on you.
And we were stealing HBO. Eduardo was stealing HBO. Somehow, some cable in the back. I don't know. I don't
Oh,
have
it wasn't.
question.
I mean, the best days were the DirecTV cards when you could buy the card that was hacked and you would get absolutely everything. When I say absolutely everything, I mean every porn channel that DirecTV had.
I've told y'all before, I wore out the Officer and the Gentleman tape. VHS? Man, I wore out that tape.
When I got this DirecTV hacked card, you literally would take out the card from your DirecTV box, you'd put in this hacked card, and it opened up every channel. And they had these adult movie channels. This, by the way, is when I'm working and married. I got this card. Like, this isn't, I'm not a kid. This is, got married in 97. I'm guessing this is like 2000, 2001. So I got this card that got every channel. I would come home from work because Lori was at work all day down in Fort Lauderdale, and I worked at a radio station in West Palm. I would come home from work just to watch these porn channels for free. I couldn't believe I was getting them all for free. I couldn't believe that they were just piping it right into the house.
I told you.
It was one of the saddest days of my life when all of a sudden everything was scrambled again.
Oh, you got me.
Oh, a buzzkill.
I love the idea of like Lebitard calling Hoch one day, like, hey, I'm putting together this revolutionary radio show. What are you up to? I want to talk shop. And Hoch's just scrolling through 7,000 porn channels.
I'm watching Ebony Beach. Ebony Beach Beauty 7.
Yes, sir, Bob. We were watching the same channel. You say 01? I was a junior in high school.
That's crazy, man. You had it that easy?
Mm.
That's crazy to me. I was just typing into Google on my sister's laptop, big butts.
Yeah, you could have, I didn't even have that.
Man, mine's worse.
Man, I had to go through to get a magazine, by the way. A magazine.
Mm-hmm. We did magazine. I told you before, we got a magazine one time, and I thought I was clever because we had decorative towels in the bathroom. The towels nobody uses, the pretty ones that match the decor of the bathroom. So I thought I was slick. So I tore some pages out of the Nasty magazine, put them underneath the towels that nobody touched. So when I go in the bathroom, now I have my Nasty magazines already in the bathroom, like hidden in plain sight. My mom washed the towels every now and again. I get home and I'm not a kid. I'm about to go to UF. I'm 18 years old. And my nasty pictures are sprawled out on my bed, and she's not even home.
That's
Ooh,
funny.
so somebody found these, huh?
I told you, I used to have the porn magazines in the bathroom. We had carpet in the bathroom, but it was just laid over the tile. It wasn't glued down or anything. But it was the whole room.
Genius.
Just wasn't. So I would pull the carpet up and put all these magazines under there. I mean, a dozen magazines under the carpet. No one was ever going to look under there. And then I went off to college, and I never moved home. My parents sold the house, and someone bought that house, pulled up this ratty carpet, and saw Gang Babes.
And hit the jackpot.
Hit the jackpot. All right, real quick look at the headlines. We went way too long there. Real quick look at the headlines. Brought to you by Durrell Kia. You always pay less with your Pricito at Durrell Kia. Visit them at Durrell Kia or DurrellKia.com.
2 breaking news stories while we were talking about porn.
Hey, but just quickly, the guy that doesn't put his story out there is the guy with the worst porn addiction. Jimmy didn't say a word.
I say that all with pride.
Jimmy heard you talking about where you hide your magazines. He's like, huh, that's a good idea. I might try that one out.
Got him.
He doesn't have to hide anything, though, because it's all on his OnlyFans app. So he's good to go. It's all well organized. The Baltimore Ravens, according to Diana Rossini, have requested permission to interview Anthony Weaver, the Dolphins defensive coordinator, for their head coaching vacancy. Remember, he coached there and he played there.
Yeah, I have a feeling he's going to be a head coach somewhere next season.
Yeah. As it happens, like we look at him differently down here, but obviously around the league, they look at Anthony Weaver with a lot of respect, a lot more than we do, but we see him every day, and our defenses haven't been that great. So
I don't think it'd be the worst thing in the world for him to go elsewhere.
No, not Anthony.
I mean, not if Harbaugh stays, right? They have
True.
that connection.
Yeah.
They have that chemistry.
Yeah.
And Shams Charania, remember, Trae Young seems to be on the outs. According to Shams, the latest, Trae Young has the Washington Wizards as his top preferred trade destination.
Why on earth would you want to go there?
Where's he from? That doesn't make sense. Is he from that area? Like, that doesn't make sense. That's crazy.
No idea. He went to Oklahoma, and he's from Norman. His high school was in Oklahoma. So, and he was born in Texas. So I don't think he has any connections to Washington.
Strange destination to prefer.
I read something. They said the new NBA is really messing him over, but the whole article was about that he can't play defense. So now you have to play defense in the NBA. I'm like, you didn't have to used to play defense? This is a conundrum.
Oh, Joe Zagacki sent me a picture at In-N-Out. He was at the he tweeted me at In-N-Out. I retweeted it. His wife now has just tweeted me. I'm going to retweet it. Joe Zagacki in the little In-N-Out paper hat. Put it up.
Joe jacked up.
I'll put it up here. Hold on.
He's living the life right now, right? Like if there was anybody, if there was anybody who's going to enjoy
Look
this,
at
Bro. Joe is excited.
Time of his life. In-N-Out Burger in Arizona. What's better?
Arizona.
Your weather in South Florida, it is in the mid 80s right now. Sunny tonight. The lows will be in the mid 70s. That is your weather.
Lee Sterling is going to pick some winners for us in the next segment. Gulfstream Park. Speaking of winners, Gulfstream Park in beautiful Hallandale Beach, they are racing. The championship meet is on. They've got live racing every Thursday through Sunday. You can witness the nation's top horses and jockeys compete on the iconic Gulfstream track and enjoy the thrill of racing all season long. Gulfstream Park, they offer the hottest slots and electronic table games. You combine the excitement of casino gaming and the thrill of thoroughbred racing in one electrifying destination. The Pegasus is the 24th. We're going to do our show at Gulfstream Park at 10 Palms on Friday the 23rd. So we will get you ready for the Pegasus on the 24th by doing a live broadcast at Gulfstream on Friday the 23rd. And by the way, I am told we will have heat tickets to give away at that broadcast. So there you go. Friday the 23rd at Gulfstream Park. We will be out there broadcasting live. And then the Pegasus is the 24th. And then the road to greatness begins at Gulfstream with the Holy Bull Stakes coming up January 31st. I mean, there's a ton of action going on. Also on the 31st, it's Taste at the Track, tacos and tequila. Enjoy a variety of Latin-inspired dishes paired with your favorite premium tequilas and handcrafted cocktails. The Flamingo Room, located on the 3rd floor of Gulfstream Park, boasts one of the best views in South Florida. So get your Pegasus, your Holy Bull tickets, your Taste at the Track tickets, all the info. Get it at GulfstreamPark.com.
You're listening to the Hoch, Crowder, and Solana Show.
Why I love Zephyr Hills.
There is no Zephyr Hills. It's Zephyr Hills. We've been over this.
singing the same old song. I know every crack in these dirty sidewalks of Broadway, where hustle's the name of the game, and nice guys get washed away like the snow and the rain. There's been a load of
compromising. We went very long, Lee Sterling, because we were talking about newspapers and paper routes and hacking DirecTV cards to get porn and all the stuff you would imagine we were talking about right before a gigantic Miami Hurricanes game coming up. Lee Sterling is on the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. He is a professional sports handicapper. The website is ParamountSports.com, and you can follow him on Twitter at Paramount Sports. Did you ever have a paper route when you were a kid?
Who had an admission in college, me and a bunch of friends, we ran a wire from the telephone line all the way to our dorm room, and we stole cable. So had to have ESPN. It was 1982.
Yeah, it was an easier time when you could do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Very.
How was your experience in Dallas? You at the last minute decided to go to the Miami-Ohio State game, right?
Well, what happened was I woke up the morning of the Texas A&M game, and I looked at my wife and I said, you know what? I think we're going to beat A&M. And we were at the loss in 2003, and it was the worst loss I've ever been at, to have the game stolen away from you. And I said to her,
you were celebrating a win.
I'm not sure we're going to win, but in case we win, if I'm not there, I said, I'm going to regret it for the rest of my life. So we booked a flight. We did put it on 24-hour standby, and we went. And I have to say this, it was everything and more. It was even way more emotional than even the 2001 national championship game that we won at the Rose Bowl, because we were up 31-0. And to see the Ohio State fans have to file out, it was a beautiful thing. My wife and I are both very emotional and stayed for probably about 30 minutes after we won the game just to watch the ceremony.
And Lee, being a professional gambler and betting against or with the lines and all that stuff, do you go back and watch the game again? Because I go to Dolphin games, I don't know what's going on a schematic level when I go to the game. I like the energy of it, but I go back and watch it to see what really happened.
Yeah, I do, and a couple takeaways. I thought, I don't know if people realize it. Miami had 30 or 35,000 fans at the game, so I was on the Ohio State side. The entire side, other side, was Miami fans. I mean, it was 95%, and even had some in the end zones and on the side I was on. So I was shocked at the incredible turnout. I think people wanted to be there if, like I said, there was a chance that they could beat Ohio State. And I thought the officials let the players play. Now, I will say this going into this game, this might be the biggest thing based on this upcoming game. If they let them play like they did in the last game, I think it'll hurt Miami, because there was at least 5 or 6 holding calls that they could have called on Ohio State offensive linemen. And if they let Ole Miss, the offensive line, get away with that, now there were some calls. Miami could have been called a couple times for pass interference, trying to guard Smith. I mean, he's unguardable on the sidelines. And obviously the Miami long bomb, they probably should have called interference that way. But I think it'll favor Ole Miss that way. So I was shocked at the turnout from Miami. I don't think you could see it on TV. And I heard from a lot of people, they didn't realize, they just thought there was a couple sections of Miami fans. But the Miami fans really showed out. And I also thought that I thought that they dominated even more. If you watch the TV, you don't realize. I was able to watch, the coverages. They were not giving us, if some people were complaining we should have tried to go deep, they were not giving us the long ball all night long.
Well, let me get to the picks before we run out of time. Lee Sterling, again, the website is ParamountSports.com. Canes are 3.5-point favorites over Ole Miss tomorrow night.
Okay. And I'm not saying this just because I picked Miami last week and I predicted they'd win the game straight up, plus the 280 or plus 300. I think Miami's the right side again. Like I said, unless we see some strange things happen. They'll be as healthy as they've ever been. I think that Mississippi, of the 4 units, their defense is the weakest. If you want to look at some guys they're going to target number 6, the linebacker, TJ Dottery. He plays almost every play. He calls the signals, but I think he's real weak in run defense. They're going to try to run at him. And the 2 defensive backs they're going to target are going to be a guy named Kepina Gushikin, and Jalen Braxton. Those 2 guys, they tend to – Gushkin can get beat. I think he allowed 5 completions and 5 targets in the game. And Braxton tends to hold some also, gets a little handsy. I think Miami's going to run a lot of flanker screens to Tony, which really they were tough to get going with Ohio State. But I think they'll be successful with those. And I think our offensive line is going to dominate. They're going to score more. This is going to be more of a high-scoring game here. But Miami's defensive line, the numbers, 12 sacks, 50 pressures, 16 tackles for loss in 2 playoff games are unprecedented. And I think we're on a mission. I don't know if we're going to win it all, but I think we're at least going to get there. I like Miami here in a high-scoring game relatively. I like them 30-20, 30-23.
All right, I hope you're right. How about the game the next night? Indiana, 3.5-point favorite over Oregon.
Indiana scares me. I don't know if anyone's ever brought this up, but Fernando Mendoza reminds me of Bernie Kosar. Kind of a little, different, doesn't look fluid, tall, lanky. I mean, Mendoza's more of a threat running straight ahead, but not side to side, just like Bernie was. But he just sees the field and makes good decisions. But I think the difference is, just like Ole Miss playing Georgia, I think when you get to play a team for a second time, I think it favors the team that lost the first game. So as long as Lanning doesn't go for it like he did in the first game of the playoffs here, second game, actually, he played James Madison first. As long as he doesn't go for it 8 times like he did last week against Texas Tech, he was successful on 4 of them. I think Oregon, it's not a strong play, but if I had to take a side, I take Oregon plus 3.5 in their game against Indiana. I just don't think that Indiana can operate and they were just unstoppable against Alabama. It's tough to do that 2 games in a row. Kind of the same way with Chambliss. Chambliss threw for Ole Miss 367 yards. That was his best game of the year. It's tough to duplicate that 2 games in a row.
So you're thinking we're going to see Miami in the national championship game at Hard Rock Stadium?
Yeah, everyone who doesn't have tickets is going to have to shell out a lot of money. I was checking on the ticket resellers.
Yeah,
cheapest ticket today,
$3,000,
and that's for the top row.
Wow,
not
and that's before
know
Miami's going to be there.
Yeah,
so
well, they're taking a chance. If let's say it's Indiana and Ole Miss, the tickets you're gonna, if you buy tickets now, you're gonna have to resell them, and you might lose a couple grand.
Yeah, you'll take a bath. These
are
getting snapped up by Miami fans, and this is the time to do it. If you believe in the team, like if you want to talk about gambling, that's the gamble. Like, buy your tickets now because it's only.
Were you emotional, Mark, after the game, after Miami beat Ohio State, or towards the end when they scored the touchdown to go up by 10 in the game against Ohio State?
I didn't hear what you said. I didn't hear what you
emotional. Were you emotional?
Oh, yeah, we were exercising. We talked about it with John Michaels, whatever. It was like the exercising these demons. Yeah. That 03, I mean, for any Hurricanes fan, anyone down here, it sticks with you because you really, for a second, celebrated a national championship. And then it got pulled out from under you. And then you watched the replay, whatever, and it certainly wasn't like a blatant call. And you felt ripped off for over 2 decades.
And Miami, for the last 23 years, has been either in a downward or a level trajectory, not even close to playing for a national title. So we exercised some demons. We got redemption.
And we did. Lee Sterling, the website, ParamountSports.com, on Twitter, at Paramount Sports. Hopefully we are talking to you next week, previewing the Canes in a national championship matchup.
Hope so.
That would be great. All right. Thank you, Lee. Appreciate it.
Hey, guys.
4:00 hour, Don Bailey Jr. is going to join us. Cheetah Pompano is a great spot to watch a game or a fight. Cheetah Pompano, they've got an amazing complimentary gourmet lunch till 3 p.m. every day. Happy hour specials till 6. The most beautiful ladies in South Florida. You got a lot of great stuff coming up. Tomorrow night, you can watch the Miami game at Cheetah Pompano or Cheetah Palm Beach. Perfect spots to watch. You can watch all the NFL playoff games there as well. And January 24th, Cheetah Pompano, you can watch UFC 324. Cheetah Pompano is the absolute perfect spot to watch a big UFC card, and UFC 324 is that, and you can watch it at Cheetah Pompano. Every day is a great day at Cheetah Pompano Beach. Make sure you visit Cheetah Palm Beach as well. Get all the details at cheetahsofl.com.
You're listening to the Hoch, Crowder, and Solana Show.
Somebody has dubbed me on the text machine Bad Bet Bunny.
Go, 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 shorty. It's your birthday. We gon' party like it's your birthday.
Saw on the show sheet this song was released on this day in 2003. Is that what I saw? 2003? In the club. Anybody watch the 50 Cent Diddy documentary on Netflix?
I did.
Did you watch? I don't know if I can watch it because it disgusts me so much what I know I'm about to see, and I'm going to hate this guy even more than I hate him.
You will.
You watched it, Jimmy?
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah, it's oh man, it's crazy you bring this up because when we were talking to Method Man yesterday.
Oh yeah.
He was back in, he was in music obviously when Diddy wasn't. Now we no Diddy stuff anymore. Don't miss a Diddy party. And he was bringing him up, and it's always cringe even to say the word Diddy right now. You learn so much, but to your point, it does not make you like him any more than you do right now.
Like it sickens me. Even the court testimony sickened me. And so I know 50 Cent, who hates Diddy, was not going to make a documentary that shined any kind of positive light on him. So I just have avoided watching it because I know it's going to make me sick.
It's other victims too. I don't want to, spoiler alert, whatever the hell you got to say. There's other people that tell stories. It's not as like the Cassie video. You see the entire Cassie video and all that stuff. But there's also other victims like back in the 90s that are talking, and you're just like, this dude, like money saved him for decades.
Right. Like this is a bad, vile guy, and money's saving him now. Like he's only going to be in jail for another year or so.
So I was going to say, if you don't want to dislike him more than you already do, you shouldn't watch it.
Yeah. I don't think I can watch it. Let's do something maybe even more downbeat. 15 minutes of heat. I'll turn it over to you, Solana. We'll do an abbreviated version because yesterday, were you on when I said yesterday was the Diddy Bowl in hockey? Yeah, the Predators versus the Oilers.
That's ridiculous.
Anyway, 15 minutes of heat on WQAM is sponsored by Doral Kia, home of the Pricito, their lowest price. Visit them at Doral Kia or DoralKia.com. I was going to say to you, Solana, like, what's wrong with the Heat? But I don't think anything's wrong with them. This is who they are, right? Aren't they just kind of a middle-of-the-road Eastern Conference team, which is exactly what you saw last night? I mean, last night was a little embarrassing, but, I mean, Minnesota's a better team than them, I think.
For sure. There's no doubt about it. Rudy Gobert is having he's won 4 Defensive Player of the Year awards. He's having another one of those seasons. This might
I've never seen you say that in that kind of fashion before. Usually it's Rudy Gobert. How has this guy ever won 4 Defensive Player of the Year awards? They all belong to Bam. It's one of the greatest tragedies in all of sports. Now you're saying it like, well, you go up against a guy who's won 4 Defensive Player of the Year awards.
So, no, because I'm with you. I was looking funny when he said that. Mm-hmm. So when Bam goes against Gobert, he drops 7 because Gobert's better at defense than Bam is.
I don't think that's true. I just think, right now, Gobert, he's really proving those 4 Defensive Player of the Year awards, there was some merit there, I believe. He's now finally proving it.
How'd Tyler do last night? What were his numbers?
Tyler looked really good.
Came off the bench, right?
Came off the bench, 17 points, played 29 minutes.
Wow, 17 points. His over-under was 16.5, remember? Yeah. Amazing.
Shot 7 of 15, hit a 3. Like, he looked fine. You can tell he wasn't going to play, 40 minutes in the game. Spo said it before the game. But, look, I'll go back to Bam, to what you guys have been saying. There's something off here. Crowder, I know your take is that he's got no offensive game. The reality is it's not true. He's not, Hakeem Olajuwon, obviously. He's not going to give you 30 every night, but he averages for his career 20 and 10. So let's stop acting like this guy's a bum. Let's have a legit combo here.
No, he's not a bum, but he's not a 1.
Oh, no,
he's not a bum, but he's not a 1.
I agree with that. But right now, first of all, Davion goes 2 of 11. Andrew Wiggins, 3 of 10. Miserable. Jovic, 2 of 8. Ware, 3 of 10. Larson, 3 of 9. Bam, 3 of 11. And you didn't have Jaime. You're not winning a game with those numbers against anybody. But Bam in the last 12 games has scored 20 points one time. He entered yesterday's game averaging the lowest points he scored, which is 17, since his third year in the league, and he's shooting a career low 45% from the field. He's creating more shots than he ever has in his entire career by almost double the amount per game in terms of volume, and the types of shots he's taking are significantly different this year than they ever were because of the offense the Heat is playing. So clearly there's a massive learning curve for him, along with the fact that he's playing with Khalil Ware, who now gets a lot of shots set up for him compared to Bam, who's playing further and further away from the basket. So you guys are right. Like, Bam has regressed this season offensively a lot. And I don't know if it's a funk, or I don't know if this is a result of, hey, this system isn't exactly suited for his skill set. Right now, it's hard to argue against the latter. And Hoch, you're right. From Brady Hoch, the Heat against top 15 defenses this season, 6-12. The Heat against bottom 15 defenses this season, 14-5, which
is exactly who they should be when you're in the middle of the pack.
Yeah. And they're in the middle. Again, great teams, they're going to be bad. Decent teams, they're going to be decent. They're going to be in the middle. But to your point, this offense is based around ISOs, one-on-ones. You try to get a mismatch. Correct. You try to swing it fast. That's what I say about Bam. Bam can go score 17, 18. But to your point about the system, my thing with Bam is that Bam is not getting the ball, looking at his defender, and going to get buckets.
He's not a great face-up player. He's not a great face-up player. He's not.
I agree with you on that, and that's the part. That's the problem I have with saying he's your one. He's your culture guy.
But we don't want him to be the one.
I want
a 2 or the 3.
Well, he is the one though.
Yeah. I want a culture of a dude that wants to face up a guy and go get a bucket when we need it.
We all want Anthony Edwards. I mean, yeah, I'm watching Anthony Edwards last night. He leaves the game in the second quarter. He picked up his third foul with 3 minutes left. He goes to the locker room. He comes back before halftime with a cup of pineapple and a fork.
Pineapple. This was the greatest thing because we're watching it. It's me, David, and Laurie, and we're watching it, and they hadn't done a close-up of it yet. And I'm like, DJ's like, what is he eating? And I go, is that a fruit cup? But we're trying to get glimpses of it. And I go, is that vanilla pudding? I thought he was sitting there eating a vanilla pudding for a second, but no, it's pineapple.
He went back. He was hurt. I just need some pineapple. Just give me some pineapple. I'll be set.
Yeah, I mean, we want that. My thing is, I love the offense. It's fun. All that stuff could be true. Yesterday, the Heat ran more pick and rolls for Tyler Hero than they've run for anybody since the opener, which was for Davion Mitchell. Maybe you can do both. Maybe you can play fast-paced. Maybe Norm and Davion and Jaime can do all the things that they've been doing, which has worked for them. Clearly, they've all had better seasons. But also find a way within that to run pick and rolls for Bam and Tyler Hero together, because that's worked in the past. And that is better for them. Like, maybe it can be both. Why does it have to be one thing and not the other? Which was my takeaway yesterday.
Spo
from the
also
game.
Gets very stubborn. So when he's made up his mind that it's going to be this way, it's pretty much going to stay that way.
But to that, and I'll use a football reference because that's what I lean on because I know the schematics of it. To your question, Solana, can you be the greatest show on turf type team and also be able to ground and pound? Like, teams can't come out and say, I'm going to run the ball 35 times, but my quarterback's also going to throw the ball. That's a great point.
You got to pick a side.
You got to pick a side.
You do, but the best teams that play at the pace that the Heat are playing at, they can take a million threes and make up for, some slow lapses offensively. When the Heat gets slowed down, which is what happens against Minnesota, the size and the length, they can't execute in the half court anymore because they're not running screens, and you've got Gobert in the paint, and they can't hit a shot. They were like 6 of 23 in the upper paint yesterday because Gobert's guarding the rim, and once they get into the paint, they can't get into the restricted area, so they have to take these floaters, and they can't make them. So then what? What do? The threes dried up. Then what? Their offense literally could not produce. So you've got to figure out other ways. Play fast, but also, hey, we're playing against a really good defense with size and length. Let's run some screens. Let's get Bam into the spots on the floor where we know he can take shots and execute. And it just hasn't worked. My point was, he's your highest paid player. Something's off right now. And I don't think it's fair to just say it's a mental thing. We did that last year with the Jimmy Butler situation. Fine. You can't keep going 12, 13, 15 games until you say, hey, something has to change here.
Well, listen, none of this matters because tomorrow night, Matas Buzelis and the Chicago Bulls battle the Miami Heat. I'm so torn. I've been looking forward to this Fiesta Bowl for 23 years. But how can I not watch Matas Buzelis, Big Vooch, no Giddey. Giddey's out. Mm-hmm. But how can I not watch Kobe White and the Chicago Bulls take on the Miami Heat tomorrow night? That's in Chicago, right, Solana?
It's in Chi-Town. You remember what happened last time? We hyped up this matchup, Matas Buzelis and Isaac Okoro, your other boy, and the Chicago Bulls. You remember what happened last time?
Heat
right?
ran him off the court.
Heat ran him off the court. It was the most lopsided loss the Bulls had had all season, and Matas Buzelis, in 19 minutes, because he was so bad, finished 2 of 8, 6 points.
You also told me after that game, you see the difference between the Heat and the Bulls. It's laughable, Hoch, that you have said they're the same team all season long. There is such a wide margin of difference between the two. The Heat right now are the 8 seed. The Bulls are the 9 seed.
And Hoch, I could answer your question. It might have been, hypothetical. How can I not watch Montez Buzelis if Forensic Files is on?
Did you see what he did the other night? Did you see the highlight I sent you the other night?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. That may have been the greatest dunk in the history of basketball.
And it plays right into a person that is obviously more open-minded about the Bulls than you and our friend Sylvie. When we had Sylvie on, he said Montez Buzelis is a crazy athlete, and that's about it. And that dunk
he was playing to you.
Is a crazy dunk, but that's about it, Hoch. Once you figure this out, he won't be your next.
What's Boozy's numbers this year? I'm looking it up.
Oh, Boozy? 10, 2, and 6.
Nah, he's probably averaging like 14.
14, 5, and 1.
Yep. He's shooting 48%. That's pretty solid.
And 14.7, so 15 really.
Now we're rounding. You have something else.
I mean, he's having a really good season. Shooting 34% from 3, takes 5 a game. Like, that's fine.
Yeah. It's going to be tough to just focus on the Canes game tomorrow night when I've got this game just calling my name.
It's funny. I just thought about this because Ava and Chan, we're at IMG. That's why I'm in Bradenton up here because Ava's playing basketball.
It's the second time you've said, did you say Bradenton?
Bradenton. Bradenton. There's no N. It's one N. There's no 2 N's.
But you're saying Bradington.
Braid. Bradenton. Bradenton.
Right, 2 N's. You just
there's 2 N's. Is Bradenton?
No. Bradenton.
Bradenton.
I mean, technically there are 2 N's because there's one at the end. I think you were saying there's not 2 in the middle, but yeah, there are 2. But it's Bradenton.
I probably get this right because they're going to be here for damn near half a decade.
Yeah.
But no, they're there, and she you're at
Bridgerton.
There's a black dude on there that I met one time.
I've never seen that show.
Oh yeah, it's a real pretty black dude.
A lot of nudity on Bridgerton, right?
That's why I'm a fan. It's like Officer and the Gentleman. I like a good old nudie movie.
Yeah, I got to see that, and I got to watch Euphoria.
So you talk about Gobert. Ava's playing. She's 7th grade. She's playing with the high schoolers. They all play together, all the girls. And she does like this little step through, like Euro step thing that she got pretty good at. And when I see her setting it up, I was like, oh yeah, I see. But then I look in the paint, and there's a girl that's 6'4" standing there. And I was like, no. She stepped through and looked at the girl, and then she just grabbed the ball and thwe it back out to the point guard.
You've only seen her do it against Davy competition. All of a sudden, you're watching an IMG game. You're like, oh, no.
When we have dinner tonight, I'll be like, hey, but just let's be a perimeter shooter in this league. Don't go down there with those monsters.
You can take over at the Posnack JCC, but
She was 20, 10, and 10 at David Bosnick.
She must be watching a lot of Drew Smith because, oh my God, does this guy 2 times a game, he comes in, he tries to drive on the tallest player from the other team, and the ball gets put into the 8th row 2 times a game. I mean, Drew Smith, what are you doing, dude?
Well, there's something about being confident in yourself.
Ava sees it before Drew Smith, though, because she said, nope. reset the offense. Bad idea.
All right, real quick look at the headlines. Don Bailey Jr. is going to join us from Arizona. Headlines brought to you by Doral Kia. You always pay less with your Pricito at Doral Kia. Visit them at Doral Kia or DoralKia.com.
I want to revisit the news from earlier this morning. Josina Anderson, there were several different things that happened after our show. Yesterday, Adam Schefter last night. In the first 45 minutes after Harbaugh was fired, his agent said he received calls from 7 NFL teams expressing interest in his client. And then he points out there's 7 NFL head coaching openings, but one of them included Baltimore, who wouldn't be calling themselves. So everybody kind of assumed, is that Miami? Josina Anderson today, I'm told the Dolphins have been in touch on John Harbaugh. And then she writes, it's my understanding Todd Monken could have a path to still being Harbaugh's offensive coordinator. There was some reports that what ultimately led to his firing was the fact that he didn't want to fire Todd Monken, who's his offensive coordinator. And then she also says, adding, it's also my understanding, though, that team quarterback situation will be a big factor in this ongoing decision and evaluation process.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And Harbaugh's had some, before Lamar, Harbaugh's had some garbage quarterbacks, and they're still winning through that.
Makes sense. You think of it as a head coach, you go, well, if I can start out with a really good quarterback or someone who looks like a really good quarterback, i.e. Jackson Dart, man, does that make the job easier.
Yeah. And I do like him, even if it's Coach Monk, and whoever it is, I want Harbaugh to bring in whoever he wants. Don't couch him with any GM. Don't couch him with anybody else. Let him bring in everybody he wants to change up what this is. If he's in New York, it is what it is. But we're Dolphin fans. I want him to bring in his OC, his DC, his whatever he wants. If he decides on the Dolphins.
Isn't this becoming really messy for the Dolphins though? If they truly are reaching out to Harbaugh, how could you be in the hiring process for a general manager with a head coach in place currently, but also trying to inquire and perhaps trying to woo another head coach who just got let go? How do they do this properly? Because you can't be talking to GMs and saying, yeah, Mike McDaniel's our head coach right now, and we're hiring you to take over this position with him in place. But also you go and you're talking with Harbaugh, because what if a general manager does get the job? He believes it's going to be Mike McDaniel. Then all of a sudden it's Harbaugh. I don't know. How do they do this properly?
Well, that's why you have Troy Aikman.
In Troy, we trust.
No, obviously, I believe you shelve the GM search if you're all in on Harbaugh, if you've made that decision. Yeah, because you might want Harbaugh to make the decision of who the GM is. That may be the difference maker in getting him. We know the Giants kept their GM. So maybe Harbaugh says, hey, I got to be able to bring all my people. I've done this, 18 years in Baltimore. I know what it's like to work with someone who I want to work with. So for me, here are the deal breakers. I got to bring my own GM or whatever. So you can't hire a GM if you're in negotiations with Harbaugh, because you have to leave everything on the table for negotiating with him.
100% agree. And to your point, Solana, I think we're working backwards with it. I'm glad that they told us that McDaniel's not involved in hiring the GM, but to the hierarchy, the Giants have an owner, then a GM, and now they're going to find a coach. We have an owner, no GM, with a coach. It's not normal what's going on right now in Miami.
I just think it gets really messy though, because what if Harbaugh says, I'm going to take my time here? We had just spitballed yesterday. He's looking at Buffalo. What if they lose in the first round? They haven't won a road game in the playoffs in 33 years.
Well, that's why you have a head coach. That's why you have a head coach under contract right
but
now.
Don't you need a general manager? Like, forget about Harbaugh just for a second.
Well, I would
Gear
submit to you, what's more important to you, having a general manager for the next 3 weeks or having the potential to have John Harbaugh? I mean, it goes back to the Heat, right? Yeah. They passed on deals with the notion that they might get Giannis, right? It's like sometimes you have to say, hey, we're going to take ourselves out of that sweepstakes because we think there might be a bigger payoff. Now, obviously, it didn't work out with Giannis, but you just have to kind of determine which is the greatest possible outcome and do you have a legitimate chance to get there. And if you do, some people swing for the fences.
You could give Cam Cameron the best GM in the history of football. He wouldn't have been we wouldn't have been good. So I think the head coach is way more important. Which I just said it's structured backwards what we're doing, but getting the right head coach is more important than getting the right GM.
I agree. I just don't think you can shelve a general manager right now with the situation the Dolphins are in.
Yeah, but if it costs you Harbaugh, you have to. You have to.
Quarterback, head coach. That's 1 and 2 in an organization, period.
Well, maybe we can reach out to Chris Grier. Just kind of handle things until we pick the next guy.
Chris still has his South Florida home now.
You know I'm okay with the big three.
Run it back.
Is Tua a bust? Does that go in Chris Grier's
I don't think
list
so.
As a bust?
Nope. His skill set diminished greatly, but he is not a bust.
No playoff wins.
2 playoff appearances.
2 playoff appearances.
Kind of.
Faltered very fast. Body went dead. We knew after he broke his hip and his ankle in college, we knew he was fragile. And the Chargers with Herbert are now in the playoffs.
But he's not a bust. Like
a bust. We're talking bust. We're not talking
DeMarcus Russell,
Deion Jordan, DeMarcus Russell, that kind of bust.
I mean, Deion Jordan, he didn't want to go that high. That was just the Dolphins are idiots. You know, like I don't even consider him a bust per se because who the hell was going to trade up for him? Like he was like, what? What are you guys doing here?
You don't even remember Eric Kumaro.
Deion was surprised. What happened?
Well, when I think of bust, I think of Trey Lance. I mean, they drafted him with the 3rd overall pick, and they traded up to get him, and he didn't play. You know,
does anybody remember what round
Russell.
Eric Kumaro was drafted?
No,
he's a Dolphins draft pick.
You referenced the name, and I haven't done the research on Kumaro.
Eric Kumaro, who's 60 years old right now, was drafted by the Miami Dolphins.
1st round of 88. So the Dolphins, I remember this story because remember, I graduated high school in 87. So I get down to Miami, going back to the Ticket Wizard. Ticket Wizard is my college roommate, the biggest Dolphins fan you've ever met. And I remember him like just being incensed that this guy, Eric Kumaro, who no one had projected as a 1st rounder, went in the 1st round of the Dolphins. And then later we learned the story. You talk about, Deion Jordan being surprised. Eric Kumaro, when the 1st round of the draft was going on, was playing racquetball and didn't have his phone because there was not a single draft expert that had him going in the 1st round. So he was just biding his time, playing some racquetball. Dolphins took him with the 16th overall pick.
Was he sweet?
No.
He
was a bust.
I'm reading here, Hoch. His brother-in-law was John Bosa, who they had drafted with the same selection the year prior.
Bust.
The year prior. So they drafted him back-to-back.
All right, anything else because DBJ is going to join us.
Panthers also play tomorrow. The Heat play tomorrow, but Fiesta Bowl tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Your weather in South Florida, partly cloudy, nice and sunny. It's in the 80s. Tonight will be in the 70s. That's your weather.
Partly cloudy, nice and sunny. 2 competing thoughts.
I cover all my bases.
All right, Don Bailey Jr. is going to join us next from Arizona. We'll talk some Canes, Ole Miss with him.
This is Hoch, Crowder, and Solana.
Jimmy, you know how to make a hot tea?
No, I do not.
You know the ingredients of tea.
Water.
W
Duran. So I'm talking about. DBJ's in Arizona. Duran just played in Arizona the night before last. And I literally thought about going out there to see Duran. I never thought about going out to the Fiesta Bowl, but I was considering going to Arizona to see Duran in concert.
Nobody knew that but you.
I've never seen them in concert, and they're touring very sporadically, mostly in Europe, but I wanted to see them. Anyway, Don Bailey Jr. is on the Toyota of Hollywood hotline, and he is there in Arizona for the Fiesta Bowl tomorrow night, which you will hear on this radio station. Pregame starts at 3 p.m. That means we have an abbreviated 1-hour show tomorrow. Danny Cannell is going to join us tomorrow on the show to preview the game with us. But 3 p.m., Hurricanes pregame. It's all executive produced by Victor Bermuda, his best in the business. I don't know if you've been listening to any of these Canes broadcasts during the college football playoffs, Texas A&M and Ohio State. Victor Bermuda is absolutely killing it. He is the best in the business. And I imagine tomorrow we will get more of the same. You'll get 4.5 hours, really, of pregame, and then the game will kick off at 7:30. Joe Zagacki, Don Bailey Jr. will be on the call right here on 104.3 FM WQAM. DBJ, I got a picture from Mrs. Zagacki just moments ago. Joe Z and his wife are at In-N-Out Burger in Arizona. Are you going to make the trip there?
Mrs. Bailey does not eat hamburgers, so we will not be going to In-N-Out Burger. But we did go to the Duran. We had backstage passes for the concert.
Yeah, I would tackle you if that was the truth, DBJ.
He didn't like that if I got to get that concert, and he didn't, did he? He didn't like that one bit.
If you were out in Arizona and had Duran backstage passes and didn't call me, the hell with the UM tickets. If you didn't call me for Duran, would you go see them in concert? I mean, come on, you have to like Duran.
Sure. If it was free and it was front row or backstage, I would absolutely go.
All right. There's some
simple,
hefty parameters there, but
I would love to meet Ringo Starr too.
Yeah, I don't know if that correlates with this conversation, but we'll move along. Can you name one member of Duran, DBJ?
Not one.
Simon LeBon. Does that ring a bell? Simon LeBon?
No, does not ring any bell at all.
I'll move on to the Canes game.
Somebody's name got to be Duran.
Right. Nobody's named Duran.
No, there is no Duran in Duran.
That's a miss.
There's no Danny Duran. There's no Danny Duran.
That's a miss.
Well, how's that possible?
Like Don Bailey Flooring. I mean, there's a Don Bailey with Don Bailey Flooring. There's got to be a Danny Duran.
I don't understand. There's nobody in Outcast named Bob Outcast.
That's a hell of an argument too. He's on his point. On point today, Hoch.
Thank you, man. I brought my aim game. So how exciting is it? I mean, I was talking with Josie yesterday, and he was saying, you know what? It's not the pomp and circumstance of a Fiesta Bowl of old. It's not a week long of events and whatnot, but it's got to be pretty exciting. I saw that the coaches had their press conferences today, just a couple of hours ago. I'm imagining there's a good excitement building out there. No?
Yeah, it's a giant excitement. I mean, I think it's going to be fantastic. I mean, we've been here since Monday, so you're here Monday through Friday, so you get 5 days here. There are parts of 5 days, and they've done a great job. The hotel's phenomenal, but listen, this is playoff football. I mean, Joe's right. It's not the bowl and the celebration and the lunches and the dinners and the talent shows, and it's not that, because there's 4 left. This is for an opportunity to go play for the national championship, and both teams are taking it very, very serious. I mean, the schedule is identical to what it is when we're back in Miami, and they're following that to a T, and they're doing everything that they can to keep it as normal as it is when you're playing a home game. and they're doing a great job of it. But this, make no bones about it, every player on this team knows that what this game is about, and when you are 1-0 in this game, that you get a chance to play for a national championship in Miami.
And DBJ, it's funny you say that, because isn't this genius what they've done? I don't know why they didn't do it earlier, where this playoff game, and I know the 12 and Notre Dame versus Miami and all that stuff, but that was a buildup. And now this is NFL, to be honest. There's wild card, there's buys. The college football playoffs, this is a 10-year thing that they should have done. They missed this by a decade or two.
Well, you know what's funny, Channing? I agree with you, but what was it, 1AA? Those guys been doing it forever. You know, the divisions lower than this have had the playoffs, and there is, make no mistake, we've been to a bunch of. I can't even tell you how many bowls. This is not a bowl game. This is a playoff game, and you know, and what does that mean? Well, the intensity and the attention to detail has been ramped up every single week. You know, during the season, it's kind of monotonous in the sense, and you want that. You want everything. Monday's Monday, Tuesday's Tuesday, Wednesday's Wednesday. And the same thing is true for the playoffs, but you know, it's not like you can go on the road and lose by 2 and you still play next week. You lose by 1 and your butt's home and the next team advances. And I think that's really what gets the country's attention, because now you look at these Final Four teams, everybody deserves to be here. I mean, you can talk about this one lost this, or this one lost that, or this one's undefeated, or the teams that are here now have endured the test and have earned the spot.
DBJ, it seemed like the Hurricanes' game plan against A&M and their game plan against Ohio State was similar in the sense that they just wanted to run those teams over. They wanted to go beat them up in the trenches, which they were very capable of doing, and just be the more physical team. Can that be the same process tomorrow? Does it have to be the same process tomorrow? Is the game plan any different in your mind?
You know, Solano, we're going to get into this, especially when Miami wins the game, when we get to the week of the championship. We're going to dive into Mario Cristobal's career here, you know, his 4 years and how he's built this. But I will tell you, this is what this team is built for. They are going to try and take that football and shove it down your throat in the run game, period. And you've got a guy that played as much football as anybody you'll ever meet and who works with you every day. And he will tell you in one way or another that if a defense cannot stop the run, it's a long, long day. They've recruited towards it on the offensive line and at the running back spot. They've trained for it. They practice for it, and they work at it diligently in a very physical manner every single day to be the most physical run team in America.
And DBJ, I'm glad you brought this up. And we're talking X's and O's because I told Josie yesterday, and I know you're X and O guy. This damn Trinidad Chambliss, because you know I'm an honorary Cane now, so I'm going to say we. They're talking about Hoch.
Bro, you can always say we. You're all
DBJ,
in.
you don't hear him 4 hours a day all season long. When it's convenient, he says we. It's so haphazard, DBJ.
I'm gonna let him in the club, baby. I'm president of that club. I'm gonna let him in.
And
all right,
Hawk. I think DBJ got a little more pull than you at the club.
Well, he's Iron Eagle, so I can't or Iron Arrow, whatever it is.
but DBJ, this whole Trinidad Chambliss, which I love watching him play. He's a very talented young man. But this running around in the backfield, all this Trinidad magic and all the stuff I've heard, they're not talking about Mesidor and Ruben Bain coming after him. He's not going to have all this damn time. They're going to have to make quick decisions. He's not going to run around like he did. And Georgia does have a good front, but it's not Mesidor and Bain. And that's what I continue to tell people as they break this game down.
You know, I hope, and I'll even pray about it tonight. I hope you're right. I really do. The thing that bothers me when you're preparing for this guy is if you look at what he's done what this offense has done points-wise. Every game's 30-plus except for 2, and those were at 24. That's through the whole Southeastern Conference. That's in the playoffs. They have put points on the board. What people aren't mentioning is their entire receiving core, their top 4 receivers, averaging over 15 yards a catch. The running back, Lacey, this guy's got 1,464 yards and 23 touchdowns on the year in the Southeastern Conference. So I'm with you that it's not number 6 and it's not Trinidad Chambliss. It's not just him, but he's got 3 receivers that help anybody in the country, a couple tight ends that can help anybody in the country, and a running back that leads that conference and rushing, and that is and 23 touchdowns in a season. That's one heck of a bit of talent. So I hope that Bain and Mesidor can harness this kid and make him stand in a pocket. And if they can keep him still, they'll sack him now, or they're going to chase him out of the stadium. One or the other, they're going to make it difficult on him.
DBJ, we'll be listening tomorrow, and obviously we're concerned with what happens tomorrow night, but I want to ask you one question before we're out of time about the Ohio State game. Did you get emotional? We were talking about it with Lee Sterling. We've talked about it previously this week on the show. John Michaels after the game. We exercised this demon from 2003 where we all, as brief as it may have been, thought that we had repeated as national champions when they were victorious against Ohio State. Did you get emotional?
Hoch, I was emotional from the day I knew we were going to play them until the second. I'm still emotional over it. You know what I mean? And I have a memory about that game like my wife has a memory on me and everything I've done wrong my entire life since I met her. She remembers everything. Well, I remember that game exactly the same way. I remember Porter making that call that cost Miami a championship, and it felt good to beat Ohio State, and it felt good to make sure, for Miami to be where they're at. But I have to say, it's going to haunt me for a long time. It really is. I mean, that was just robbery.
Well, DBJ, I see Joe Zagacki, just based on the pictures from In-N-Out Burger, he's relaxed. He's in an upbeat mood. He's eating a double-double from what I can tell. He's got the paper hat on at In-N-Out Burger. I know you're always in a state of relaxation. How's Victor Bermudez, the executive producer? Is he very tightly wound? Because, he bleeds 305.
He does, man. And you know what? He if you didn't know him, you'd think, he's relaxed or he's medicated. If you know him and you look in his eyes, he's ready. He's on point. Vic's the best. Is there anybody better? I mean, he gets us prepared. He has us in line. Everything's lined up. And, if I hope this team runs through the smoke like Vic does when he runs into the press box tomorrow. I want the same intensity for this football team as Victor Bermudez has.
You don't, because that look in his eyes is steroids, DBJ.
Yeah, he is medicated. It's called anabolic steroids.
Is that how he gets those big arms, bro? I wonder how he gets those big arms. Skinny calves and big arms. That's a big sign. That's a big sign of what he's doing, isn't it? Little chicken legs and biceps. That's what we call it.
It ain't the water in Hialeah. It's something else, man.
He didn't get that big in Hialeah, DBJ. Nobody's that big in Hialeah.
DBJ, have a good call tomorrow night. Again, 3 p.m. is when the pregame starts on this very radio station. And DBJ, obviously, a big part of the pregame show. And then the game itself, 7:30, kicks off right here, 104.3 FM, WQAM. Bring us home a dub, DBJ.
I'll do it, and we'll do this one more time, baby. We got to get ready for that championship game.
Sure.
That'd be great. I saw some of the get-in prices for the championship game. You're going to have to hook me up with a couple, DBJ.
Hook you up with a couple. Okay. Well, we got to start working on those media passes, bro, because there ain't no tickets for that game. I can tell you that.
I was afraid of that answer. We'll see you, DBJ.
Yeah. See ya.
There you go. Don Bailey Jr. 5 o'clock Funky Buddha Happy Hour is next.
This is Hoch, Crowder, and Solana.
It's a chain thing. You wouldn't understand.
5 o'clock hour is the Funky Buddha Happy Hour. This is Kenny Loggins. He is 78 years old today. Love Kenny Loggins. So, 5 o'clock Funky Buddha Happy Hour. Just one thing to note before I tell you what's going on at Funky Buddha. If you follow them on Instagram, which you should, because they have such great info about all the Funky Buddha brands and all the releases, they also now are transitioning from the Funky Buddha Brew Instagram handle to Funky Buddha Tap Room as a second Instagram handle that will focus on the tap room itself. So Funky Buddha Brew will focus on the brand and the beers and all the delicious drinks that they make. Funky Buddha Tap Room. So make sure you're following both, essentially. Make sure you're following both. Oh, I just see breaking news from the Miami Herald. Terry Rozier, the Heat keep Terry Rozier on the roster past the trade deadline, guaranteeing full salary for the season.
Well, right. Today was the day where if a player's rostered and on your team past today's date, because today wasn't a trade deadline, then they would remain. You'd owe them the full money. They're
Right.
all their contract. So
he gets everything.
Correct. I mean, right now it's kind of in flux because his salary is being put in like some sort of holding account by the NBA. But today was one of those days on the calendar where like decisions had to be made. And I don't think the Heat have any other decision to make unless they want to trade him, which I believe they still don't know if they can because the NBA has made no ruling on that yet. So their hands are kind of tied behind their back.
Money's in an escrow account, by the way. Was the word you were looking for.
No,
anyway,
I felt good about a holding account. I mean, that's what I felt good about.
A holding account?
I need to get some money in my escrow account because now IMG's calling me talking about accounting services. I said, uh-oh.
You don't want it in an escrow account. You want to be able to access it. Regardless.
I like to throw them off when they dig
Funky Buddha is having an official Florida Panthers watch party tomorrow. So the official Panthers watch party for tomorrow, I think it's Montreal tomorrow, right? They in Montreal?
Yes.
So the official watch party with the mascots and the giveaways and everything, that's at Funky Buddha in Oakland Park. They're also going to make sure the Miami Ole Miss game is on TV, and you'll be able to watch that as well. What time the Panthers start tomorrow? Probably 7?
Yeah, 7 o'clock tomorrow, the Panthers, 7:30, the Fiesta Bowl, and then 8 p.m., the Heat Matas Buzelis Bowl.
Yeah. I just saw, we're going to be live at Gulfstream Park. I told you on the 23rd. So I told you we're going to be giving away Heat tickets. It's been updated. Going to be giving away Heat Bulls tickets for January 30th.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, I had no idea the Bulls were coming here on the 30th, man. I will be there.
You better not be in. You can't go to Casillas and start talking about Buzelis and all that.
I'm a Heat fan, and I'm going to be watching and root for the Heat. I'll be wearing Heat gear. But damn if I'm not going to be rooting for some Matas Buzelis yams.
I'm texting unruly fans, Crowder.
Oh, goodness.
Got
to get him.
In row
and that's
22.
on a Friday night, too? The 30th on a Friday night?
I might have to go, Hawk, because I don't want you to get beat up. I might have to
Yeah, you
go
come with me. I'm going to get us tickets. I'm going to get us a suite.
Racial slurs.
I'm going to get us a suite, man.
Hey, we're doing racial slurs now? When did that start?
To get him kicked out. That's
not in my suite. Anyway. So big watch party at Funky Buddha tomorrow. And Funky Buddha's Maple Bacon Coffee Porter Festival is January 31st. Holy mackerel, what a weekend. You go see Boozy on the 30th, and then you celebrate at the Maple Bacon Coffee Porter Festival the next day. Holy hell. That's why we live in Florida.
Boozy.
So mark it down. No cover, all day, family friendly. It is January 31st, Funky Buddha Tap Room in Oakland Park. Let's get headlines for the 5 o'clock Funky Buddha Happy Hour. There's been a lot going on today. Obviously, football. There was a Marlins trade today as well. Headlines brought to you by Doral Kia. You always pay less with your Pricito at Doral Kia. Visit them at Doral Kia or DoralKia.com.
And I'm going to start with none of the things you just listed, of course. What do you guys make of, because we talked about it yesterday a little bit, Brian Flores on one site, 2-1 odds to be the next Ravens head coach. And then I think we were talking about, to be the next Raiders head coach.
Yeah.
And I saw some interest as well in terms of the Baltimore Ravens. What do you guys make of how much he's being considered a head coach or a sought-after potential head coach by several NFL teams? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, it wasn't great in Miami, and it didn't end great in Miami. I'm not even talking about the loss.
Well, he overperformed. As a head coach, he overperformed. He didn't get along, obviously, with Chris Greer and Stephen Ross. I mean, ultimately, they made a decision. I always go back to, they talked about, we need someone more collaborative. So they didn't like his style. But on field, with the roster he was given, he overperformed.
And what's it called? They wanted somebody collaborative. I'm glad you gave me a word to say, because I was going to say some things that you can't say on radio. He wasn't built for this culture of niceness and collaboration and all that. Yep. He's actually a hell of a coach. If you see everywhere he goes, his defense performs amazing. That's why he's getting another.
Great, yeah.
He is a great defensive caller, and he's old school, nasty, hard-nosed, all the words we say that are the opposite of soft. And we're a soft organization. He would be great in Baltimore because that's their culture of toughness and whoop you and make your mouth bleed. I think he could be a great head coach because, like Hoch said, he is a good head coach. He's just not a good head coach for a very fancy, graceful team.
And the Raiders, I mean, Al Davis famously just win, baby. Like it was, back in the day, you want to talk about, John Madden as the head coach. Like they were just win, baby. So I absolutely, he will be a head coach again in the NFL. There's no question.
Why didn't he like Tua?
Because he wasn't the rough and tumble. But I think that was Brian Flores making him that, but that's a whole nother conversation.
But he liked Deshaun Watson. Like he wanted the Dolphins to go all in on Deshaun Watson, and look how that's worked out. Could you imagine if we had traded, I mean, as bad as it's been, at the very least you got 22 and 23. I mean, could you imagine being the Browns right now, saddled without a ton of picks,
but nobody knew.
Capital?
Nobody knew.
Right, but I mean, that's what he wanted. So, like,
we wanted Deshaun Watson.
If we wanted Deshaun Watson, and two, let's be honest, Flores just didn't want Tua.
Right.
If like Deshaun was the free agent or the available quarterback at that time, it wasn't that he loved Deshaun Watson. It's that I can get Deshaun Watson to replace this little frail pudding pie that I don't like. That's honest. And I'm just like, that's what you could see how Flores approached it. He did not like Tua, and Tua is not, he's not an alpha type of person, and Flores is.
I'm cool with Brian Flores going to Pittsburgh, going to Minnesota, a couple stops, kind of impressing everybody again with his accolades, his defensive mind. I get it, but I think people are forgetting how little involvement he had and wanted on the offensive side of the ball, which is why I think at times it was so bad. Think about how many offensive coordinators he went through while he was here. That's not a good quality of a head coach. The locker room seemed to be split in half when he was here. That's not a good quality of the head coach.
I wouldn't hire him again. I'm with you. I'm just telling you, great coordinators, and his defense gets talked about all the time. Great coordinators get hired.
Yeah.
And people with head coaching experience get hired. He checks those boxes. The only box that he checks that most people don't have is currently suing the NFL.
Yeah, that's a tough one. But two people, Dan Campbell, Mike Vrabel, they could hang out. They could be in a cabin with Flores and have no problems with him. Mike McDaniel walks in that cabin, he's getting his ass whooped.
I don't think so, man. I don't think you're right about that, but whatever.
But Solana, you see the personality types of the two teams, the Lions and the Patriots, how they turned it around. Those personality types are now getting popular in the NFL.
And guess what? Brian Flores was supposed to bring that grit and toughness and blue collar work ethic. And guess what he brought us? back-to-back losing seasons.
But
So, like,
what he would tell you is I brought that, and Chris Greer stopped me at every step of the way, and Stephen Ross stopped me at every step of the way, and the roster they gave me stopped me at every step of the way. I can tell you how Brian Flores is going to interview brilliantly for a head coaching job, because he's going to say those things. It was stacked against me. My culture from New England was not a culture fit with the Dolphins, and I should have recognized that before. This is the interview, right? And he's going to say, what I did, though, was learn a lot about my coaching style, because it wasn't all them, it was me as well. And what I've done in Minnesota is hone my skills as a coach and a leader and a mentor, and now I'm ready. I'm more ready for a head coaching role than I ever was. He's going to interview brilliantly. He's going to get a job.
Mm-hmm.
good luck to whoever has him. That's all I have to say.
You old bag of mashed potatoes. That's the problem.
The Marlins did trade Edward Cabrera. Man, second time you traded Cabrera, huh? That never works out well for the Marlins.
First Miguel, now Edward.
The Cubs officially, from Jeff Passan of ESPN, have acquired right-hander Edward Cabrera in a trade with the Marlins that sends top outfield prospect Owen Kaisi and two other hitting prospects to Miami. Deal's done, and official players are being informed now.
All right.
We got easy.
Nothing we love more than prospects. Thank you, Bendix. The Miami Heat did lose yesterday, of course, and the Florida Panthers lost yesterday as well. They're both in action, as Hoch mentioned, tomorrow. And as far as the Harbaugh situation is confirmed, there's been reports, Josina Anderson was one of them, that the Dolphins have been in touch on John Harbaugh. You see, though, that Barry Jackson said the Dolphins have not reached out.
Barry Jackson said that he is standing by the fact that by 11 a.m. this morning, they had not had contact or reached out to John Harbaugh. And then he clarified that he's not saying that they won't, but he says he is confident in his sources that they did not reach out yesterday or by 11 a.m. this morning.
But according to Albert Breer,
but
Harbaugh
that's
wants
like
to in 2026.
You've got to understand, like the Dolphins, first of all, you have to Avengers assemble. You got to get Troy Aikman. You got to get Marino, Stephen Ross. Everybody's busy. So Avengers assemble. And then you've got to tell Mike McDaniel. This poor schlep thinks he's part of the decision-making committee. Now you got to tell him, hey, just so you know, we're talking to someone else. We don't want you to get your feelings hurt. There's a lot of Avengers assemble action going on there. This isn't Mark Davis picking up the phone going, hey, what will it take you to get you to Vegas? This is a whole thing. You know how hard it is to get all those Avengers together? You ever see, like, sometimes they're in an ice cave. Like, you got to go talk him in. Aquaman doesn't want to come for some reason. He's drinking a beer. Like, you really got to work hard. Batman's busy. Nobody knows.
What if they all had a Zoom? They could Zoom this 5 minutes.
You know how this Avengers team is with Zoom? Yeah, you want to see you and Jim Larinaga trying to get on a Zoom? Try Aikman, Marino, Stephen Ross.
Browser, huh?
Yeah.
Browser?
Stephen Ross is talking to Troy Aikman on a tin can with some twine holding it together. Well, Harbaugh.
Does Stephen Ross still have the limo cell phone, you think? Like the one that's plugged into the back of the
100%.
Of the limo?
100%.
Yeah, flip phone too. He got a flip phone. He
doesn't. No, he doesn't even trust anything wireless. If it doesn't have a wire coming off the handset, can't trust it.
Your weather right now in South Florida, it's in the low 80s. It'll be in the mid to low 70s later tonight when the sun goes down. That's your weather.
All right. Zach Gelb is going to join us in the next segment. The new year is here. Improving your health may be one of your big resolutions, but when you're tired, you're low on energy, you're not sleeping well, you're not seeing progress in the gym, staying committed can be tough. But Atlantic Men's Clinic can likely help with your New Year's resolution because those symptoms are often signs of low testosterone. And you're low T, I'm telling you, you feel sluggish all the time. So treat the low T, change your life. Atlantic Men's Clinic, they're the experts in treating low testosterone and other men's sexual health conditions. I love my weekly visits to Atlantic Men's Clinic for my testosterone. I'm 56 years old. I'm telling you, I've been honest about this. I wish I started going to Atlantic Men's Clinic sooner. You know, guys, in your early to mid 30s, you start losing 2 to 3% of your testosterone production every year. So it's gradual, but then all of a sudden, before you know it, you just don't feel like the same guy you did in your 20s or 30s. So schedule a consultation at Atlantic Men's Clinic. Make that step. There's 7 locations now in South Florida, including their new office in Hollywood. So call them at 877-455-7300, 877-455-7300, or visit AtlanticMen'sClinic.com.
You're listening to the Hoch, Crowder, and Solana Show.
Crowder, how many booms would you give today's show?
I'm not booming nothing.